Are you searching for a deeper understanding of your faith?
Inspiring Philosophy is your go-to resource for exploring the rich tapestry of Christian thought.
From biblical archaeology to philosophy of mind, we dive into the topics that matter.
Our content bridges faith and understanding, offering insights into God's existence and the reliability of the New Testament.
Join a community where faith meets reason and discover the answers you've been seeking.
Inspiring Philosophy, where faith meets understanding.
Quack, quack! Duck lips, quack, quack!
Life is like a brain drain. Here with Muslim Orthodox lips. Facts come, logic's gone. And truth gets all blurred. Always twisting stories with those big old Botox lips. Duck lips, whoa! Every day he's out there faking duck lips, whoa! Can't see past his duck lips and his silly tricks. Dumb talk lurks inside you when the facts try to find you. What to do, just pucker up those duck lips, whoa! Every day he's out there faking duck lips, whoa! Can't stop with those huge big duck lips, whoa! Nothing but lies come out of those big old duck lips, whoa!
Lipiano duckling.
Lipiano. Lipiano McDuck. Lipiano McDucklets.
I told no one here that was about to happen, just so you know. Powerful, very powerful.
You did actually
stuff
send
there.
that to me in advance. You may not remember.
Right. I sent it to you. That's right. Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
My gosh, that was funny. Oh.
So yeah, I wasn't planning to play that. So the goal was like, all right, let's do the debate, which happened last night. If he starts getting belligerent, throwing out insults, lying, that song is going to be on a countdown tomorrow when we do a review. And he couldn't even make it through his opening statement, and there was insults coming out. So I was like, editor,
he did. It was so corny,
Dude.
It was bad, man. It was bad. So I had a debate last night with the Orthodox Muslim, and apparently he was supposed to show Muhammad is in the Bible and didn't. I was, wow. I was expecting something.
brother.
But he
I
didn't
think
show
in his,
any.
dude, I think in his opening statement he said Muhammad one time, and that was in the title of his opening slide. I don't think he said Muhammad any other time.
Yeah, he spent the first 5 minutes of his opening statement just attacking Christianity, not understanding how typology works. Like, dude, you don't understand how typology works. Don't get mad at me. Dude, we don't go to places like Hosea where he says, my son I've called out of Egypt, and go, oh, this is proof of Jesus. We understand that's typology. That's not a proof of Christianity. So like, he's attacking us for doing that because him and his Dawa bros say that there are literal prophecies of Muhammad in the Bible, which they use as the proof to argue their religion is true. So it's not a valid comparison by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, it was a wild debate that I thought he was going to bring more. I told, like, Dan and I were talking before, I had notes on like Haggai 2:7, Genesis 17, Malachi 3:1, Psalm 74, Psalm 84, Habakkuk 3:3, Deuteronomy 18:18, Song of Solomon 5, Isaiah 42, even John 14-16. I had notes everywhere, and he was just like, no, it's just Daniel 2 and these two parables in Matthew, which don't even mention a future prophet. Is like, bro, this is so bad. But I don't know. What were your thoughts, Cameron?
I had multiple. Oh, you asked him Cameron. Okay, that's fine. Please go ahead, Cameron.
Cameron goes first. He's a guest. Then you go.
I should mention, though, I'm a bit sick right now, so I'm not on top of my game. I was
Allah
listening
is
to the
cursing
debate.
him.
Yeah, Allah. I was listening to the debate while I was like putting some furniture together. So I wasn't able to like focus in as much as I would like to. The thing that kind of stuck out to me, or one of the things in his opening statement, he was complaining about this like taking a long time. Like it took 6 months or something like that. But what's the background there? I'm curious.
Mike, you're muted.
Oh, yeah.
You're
What was
muted.
the background? What were you saying? Sorry, I was listening. To
Yeah,
something.
he was complaining about-
Cameron's
he was
asking why it took
complaining-
6 months.
He was
Oh,
complaining
yeah.
that it like took 6 months and all this.
So he's a pathological liar. He's claiming went around for a while claiming that I needed 6 months to prepare, which is a lie. I said for him to come to debate me in DebateCon in November, and he said no. And I'm like, okay, I've got debates in September, October. I'll have 2 debates at DebateCon because James said he wanted me to do 2. So I was like, all right. Then I have travel all through December, then holidays. Then I gotta get tax stuff ready. Then I have, then James already told me about another DebateCon, which just happened. The soonest I can do this is the beginning of February. If he will not come to DebateCon, that's when I can do it. So I was just busy. And he's like, oh, IP says he needs 6 months to prepare. And it doesn't matter. Like Marlon of the Gospel Truth said that was a lie. James of Modern Day Debate said that was a lie. He didn't care. He was just spreading it because he's a liar. And Muslims, honestly ask yourself, if he's lying to you about that, what else could he be lying to you about? Like, seriously, like that's demonstrably false. We can show it's false, but he still spread it. Like, seriously, what's going on? So that's what he was complaining about.
Yeah. I mean, his whole thing is just to like insult and try to act like, you know, he's got you. It's like, it's almost like he, and maybe this is true. Maybe he did sort of study under Muhammad Hijab. He's like Muhammad Hijab 2.0.
Yeah, he was interrupting me like crazy. He did not want me to talk or give full explanations. I guess he thought in his Dawa brain that I was just going to come in a debate and just go, yes, no, yes. Like that's what I was supposed to do. Because that's what he was treating it like an interrogation. So I had to keep talking over him because he wouldn't shut up.
To his credit, he was trying to get concessions from you. And typically in like debates and stuff, I've got a friend of mine who's really good at debate, and we talk about this a lot, but the concessions that you get, you're supposed to like use those against your opponent, right? You're trying to get them to like concede embarrassing things.
Yeah.
There was a part during the debate where you were talking about the Son of Man, those, that part of the dialectic and stuff. And the concessions that he got from you, like, didn't lead to anything. And then he just claimed victory. That's the part that I like really want to talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, it's just like his whole strategy was to like, he knows like enough to like, okay, I need to get concessions, but then he's not like capable enough to be able to tie those concessions into like an actual argument and use that against you. Instead, he's like, you know, he'll get concessions on these sort of unrelated points and then be like, aha, I've got you. And none of it connects.
Which is hilarious because the amount of times Mike got accused of non sequiturs, relative to the amount of non sequiturs Libiano used in that debate, is ironic.
Well, I mean, we have to remember he's not a historian.
Clearly, but he trusts
Right.
historians when it's
What
convenient
is
for
he?
him.
If he's not a historian, what is he? What can he speak authoritatively on?
Whatever proves Islam is true in his brain.
Yeah.
If it supports Islam, he's an authority. Yeah. I don't know. Sam,
I had a lot of people text me during this debate, and people, mind you, that are Western people that are watching this debate and normally don't really care about these things. They just were interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you guys, I mean, if you think that you're impressing a bunch of people and people are going to come to Islam because of debates like this, you're doing really bad damage.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're just showing people that Western values are not compatible with Islam.
I got similar texts from people. Like this is what myself, David Wood, God Logic have been saying. The Dawa bros are not doing Dawa anymore. They're doing damage control. They're just trying to keep people in Islam. They're trying to signal to Muslims, we're strong, we are powerful, stay Muslim, because look at us. what they were doing like 25 years ago when like Ahmadiyya was around was Dawa. They were trying to present this peaceful, respectable form of Islam. Come, Westerners, come to Islam. Nothing that Libiano did last night is going to impress typical Westerners. Like, they're not trying
a bunch
to
of people are
Dawa.
just going to think that he's a moron.
Right. Yeah. Well,
A loud moron.
he opened his opening statement with like, I'm going to show you all the evidence. And he spent 5 minutes ranting about Christianity, then went over on Daniel and then Matthew, and that was his whole evidence. And I thoroughly dismantled those. Like, it was very clear in the cross-examination, he didn't know history, yet he was claiming Islam ended the Roman Empire, and he was clear he didn't even know how Rome ended or what historians say about that. Like, why do some historians assign the date of 1453? Why do some assign the date of 1204? Why do some say you could actually say it lasted till World War I? Why do some say 476? He can't answer those. But anyway, Nick, what were your thoughts?
So I thought there was a lot of issues with it. Number one, I really think that he only talked about Muhammad once or twice in the entire debate. It was more about is Islam and the Bible, and Islam is going to be distinct from Muhammad, even though Muhammad's a prophet of Islam. If Islam is in the Bible, that doesn't mean that Muhammad's in the Bible, right? Sure, it implies that Muhammad will be a later prophet, but if it's not about Muhammad, the people in the Bible wouldn't have been looking for Muhammad then. They would have been looking for another religion. They would have known it's Muhammad. The whole point of the debate was to show that here is another prophet that we can look for via the prophecies to find out that he is truly a prophet. But there was nothing about that besides, I think, maybe one verse that he brought up that said, oh, Ahmed is the most glorious one, means the most, which is a stupid argument. That Ahmed means the most glorious one, and the Son of Man is the most glorious one, which is totally different, by the way, because we believe the Son of Man, when we're talking about him being the most glorious one, we're talking about God here. And so if he is taking what we believe to be the most glorious one, guess what? He just committed shirk, and now Muhammad is up with God in terms of his glory.
And
so
you know what?
We demolished that argument too in a stream.
Well, Muslims have been, they're like this Muslim, for example, is calling them out. When you're a da'i who distorts the meaning of Ahmed to give credibility to the Bible in prophesying the prophet. So yeah, here, like, even Muslims are pointing out this is a dumb argument.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It means the praised one. So he can't make that argument. But that's how desperate they are to find Muhammad in the Bible. They have to change the name itself, change the meaning, and then just like cherry pick out the Bible, set up these secular scholars that wouldn't even agree with their conclusions as if they are stating dogma, and then pretend they won.
Yeah, and I think another point that we'll get to later in the debate is the fact that he chooses historians for one thing and not another, which would be okay. It is okay to choose historians one over another, or certain things they say over another, if you know why they said it. But if you're going and saying, okay, well, hey, I choose this historian over him, but I don't even know why this historian said this versus this. Well, guess what? Now it's arbitrary as to why you chose it for one thing or another. And he admitted that during the debate when IP correctly asked him, what is their methodology for this? He didn't have an answer.
This is I mean, we'll get into this more, because the same historians he quotes for like saying Jesus didn't call himself the Son of Man are the same historians that are going to say, you know, Moses doesn't exist. Moses never existed. Jesus was a failed eschatological prophet. The Son of Man is supposed to be a divine figure that's supposed to come before the destruction of the Second Temple, or at the destruction of the Second Temple, depending on who you're asking. And there's that Son of Man supposed to end history. Like, but no, we're just going to cherry pick Ehrman.
Yeah, like when they're saying that Jesus is speaking as the Son of Man as a different figure, they're not speaking of some future regular old prophet. They're speaking of a divine figure who's supposed to come in the 1st century to judge the world on God's behalf. That's what Ehrman, E.P. Sanders are talking about when they think Jesus said that. But it doesn't matter. That argument from Dean and Libiano was so stupid. And I hope they're watching, because I hope you keep using that argument, because we're going to keep training Christians to show how stupid that is. Because E.P. Sanders and Bart Ehrman are not the Bible. They're not saying this is in the Bible. I quoted Bart Ehrman last night. Bart Ehrman explicitly says in the Gospel of Mark, and the Gospels generally, he says elsewhere, but in Mark, the Son of Man is Jesus. What they posit is maybe the original historical Jesus said this, and then later the gospel authors changed it So Jesus was talking about himself. So the argument doesn't even work because in our gospels, Jesus is the Son of Man. Therefore, you can't go to our gospels and claim Jesus was speaking of another figure because it's very clear in places like Mark 8, he's speaking of himself. But they want to take one sentence out of Mark 8 and say, oh, he's speaking of a future figure. That is insane reasoning. This is so ad hoc and absurd.
Conscious edits.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
Libiano's only generally confirming Bargaiman and consciously editing him.
He genuinely talked more about how the Gospels go against their own sort of prophecy rather than his. Like, did he bring any other
Dude.
prophecy besides
No.
talking about for 60 seconds Songs of Solomon and Daniel 2 and 7? Was there anything else?
He
I don't think
mentioned
there
the
was.
parables, Matthew 21 and 22, which we can get into because
Yeah, but that's not even like that can't be about Muhammad. So that doesn't make any sense.
no, even if like again, it doesn't mention a future prophet. And if you want to take it ultra literally, you have to say, according to those parables, God only sent prophets twice before he sent his son. And then after his son, after the wedding feast, he sent more like multiple prophets. Like,
Well,
and it has to
also
happen
that doesn't
instantly.
I mean, it doesn't make sense too because we're talking about Matthew 22 and 23. But if you read Matthew 21, it literally says, "And last of all, he sent his son." So
Oh,
was
you know
that
what they
not
say to
true?
that? I looked it up. I watched them. It's so brain dead. Let me just show you what they say about this because I'll pull up Matthew 21 because you're going to love this, Nick. I don't know if you saw this. So let's go to Matthew 21 here. Let me share my screen. Okay, so here we are in Matthew 21. So yeah, they'll go to this parable and they'll go, okay, at last he sent his son and heir.
Mhm.
They'll say, this is the heir. So they say this is John the Baptist because John the Baptist was executed. And you go, where is now, Nick? You go, you're rightly thinking, where is John the Baptist called the son and heir? Well, never. They'll go to the prior parable and they think he's called it here. What do you think? A man had two sons, and he went to the first and said, son, go and work in the vineyard today. And he answered, I will not. But afterward, he changed his mind and went. And he went to the other son and said the same. And he answered, I will, sir, but did not go. Which of the two did the will of the father? They said the first. Jesus said to them, truly I say to you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes go into the kingdom of God before you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believed in him. And even when you saw it, you did not afterward change your minds and believe him. They think the first son here is John the Baptist. I'm not making this up.
I don't even see how that would follow. Like how you would even show that it's John the Baptist.
It's clear the first son is meant to represent the tax collectors and prostitutes because they go into the kingdom. Like that. Go into the vineyard to work.
Yeah,
tax collectors go into the kingdom.
I'm reading it, trying to figure out where they could even get that from.
because John is mentioned, and he was righteous. So he's got to be the righteous son, according to them. Like I'm trying to steel man as best I can, even though it's incredibly stupid. John is the messenger here. He's not the son. The son represents the tax collectors and the prostitutes who go into the kingdom, but first deny him by being, sinners. But then they're redeemed. That's the whole point. So yeah, I watched Dean do that. I could not believe it because I can't find a commentator. There's probably one or two they can dig up, but Dean cooked himself today on X because he was like, IP cited Edward J. Watts. He's so fringe. You can't use him to argue the Roman Empire ended in 1204. That's what you guys do all the time. You cite one scholar who agrees with you and you think you won.
That's a good point.
It's really annoying.
Chris says Muslims win everything according to only Muslims. This is true. Yeah. Hey, what were you saying, Cam?
Oh, I was going to say in his opening statement, he was like, trying to, I think it's very clear that they're just trying to do damage control. Cause he's like, Muslims, if you're watching this, you're going to be so impressed with what I'm about to bring. And then he gives like the most like the dumbest argument, the most contentious, like controversial. It's like the same passage that Mormons use to try to support their own beliefs. And it's like in their official documents, their elders have said these
Did
things.
I send you that
they try
meme?
to interpret. No.
Cam?
No.
Darn it.
Those who don't know, Mormons will use Daniel 2 to try to argue for Mormonism, but they'll say the stone from heaven is like America somehow. And Mormonism was founded in America. And America won World War I, defeated the Ottomans and the Russians who were claiming to be the Roman Empire. Hint, hint. that's what they say.
Amen. Amen.
For anybody curious, the meme is that Omni-Man where he's looking at the planes and he says, "Look what they have to do to mimic a fraction of our power." And then the airplanes say Mormons saying Daniel 2 is the Church of Mormon, of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and Muslims saying what they do.
I just thought that was like a really good representation of the state of Muslim apologetics. It's like, here, I'm gonna like really give you this like great, this is really gonna make you confident in your faith and stuff. And then it's just this terrible argument. And you're like, what? Like what?
Mhm.
This is what this is why you're so confident in your conclusions because of
Well,
that.
Let's think about it. Libiano, for debate after debate, conversation after conversation, has brought up Daniel 2 so much. It's his favorite argument. It's his favorite argument. And I'm like, I watched a couple of these going, I don't think he knows the actual history. You gotta, because he doesn't realize when Western scholars set the end of the Roman Empire at 1453, they're not doing that because they have an objective metric. It's an arbitrary date set that's just useful for categorization. But if you talk to any of them, they're going to be like, yeah, I mean, you could make a case it ended here, or it could have lasted to here. Like, they're going to push back and go, they're not going to push back. They're going to be like, yeah, but we're setting in here because of this. And then Edward J. Watts comes along and goes, well, I mean, if we're using that date as 1453, it actually makes far more sense to say the Roman Empire ended in 1204, because that's when the exact same thing happened. You had outside invaders come in and conquer the capital, set up their own empire, claim to be the Roman Empire. And the difference is the people at Nicaea came back and retook Constantinople, not the rest of the lands, though. But if they are the Roman Empire now, then so are the Ottomans, because they're just claiming to be, and they're claiming they're the Roman Empire because they conquered Constantinople. So here's a good comment. He says, all these Muslims just saying, oh, he thinks Ottomans are Romans when he obviously didn't say that. Yeah, I know. I didn't. I specifically said the Roman Empire ended in 1204. That seems to be the best metric. And let me explain why. Because you have a continual line of Roman emperors up until that point. And then they get conquered by an outside people. Constantine Lascaris, who briefly reigns at Nicaea, doesn't take the title of Roman emperor. He claims that he claims it's been destroyed, it's been dissolved, and it breaks into these different factions all over the remaining territory. Now, the Latin emperors were claiming to be the Roman emperor, like Baldwin I, Henry of Flanders as well. But if they get to be Roman emperors, then so do the Ottomans, is my point. Because the Ottomans did the exact same thing. In fact, they were more Roman than the Latins were. The Latins came in and they had their own empirical structure. Like, they had more of a structure similar to Norman customs. But when the Ottomans came in, they adopted a lot of the Roman customs, administrative features of the previous rulers, and then they claimed to be the Roman emperors. So if you want to say the Roman Empire lasted past 1204, you have to have it keep going, because the metrics you're going to use are going to conclude the Ottomans must be the Roman Empire. And if you're going to, or you're going to accidentally conclude the Holy Roman Empire is the reformulation of the Western Roman Empire. And if you get stuck in that, which they will, then you have to say that Islam actually can't be the stone because it didn't destroy the Roman Empire by their own metrics. It outlasted Islam or collapsed before it.
See, this is what's really, really, really annoying, is that you can't have this conversation with a guy like Libiano. Like what you just laid out, your reasoning, it's something that people can interact with. It's something that people can, disagree with and do it reasonably. But he didn't even try. Like, he didn't even want to go there with you. He didn't want to try to reason through any of this. He just wanted to act confident. I mean, at one point he did admit that he's not a historian, which I guess is something. But like, it's just so annoying. It's just so annoying. You could have had a good conversation with the guy. Like, if you would have just been a normal person.
Not with him. There's no way. I wish.
I think maybe I'm just optimistic. I think I'm an optimistic person, but
you are. Yeah.
I honestly have never seen Libiano have a productive conversation. I've seen other Muslims
maybe before he let the fame get to him.
I think deep down the guy cares about arguments like to some degree. But there's
You
just
lying.
too
I
much-
can't. You
there's
ain't watched them
too
enough,
much
kid.
anyway.
No.
Look, I'm with Cam. I'm sure he does deep down somewhere.
He just has ulterior. He has ulterior motives that get in the way of all of it. You know.
Listen, I
that
mean, the thing
prevent him
is
from-
that when he started, like I've been debating him for a long time before he ever blew up. And before that, sure, you could have good arguments, but then he debated logic and he got all of this clout from logic. His whole platform is literally thanks to logic. That's it. And then since then now, he kind of let this get to him. And now, now he calls himself king and Giga Chad, and it's just so cringy. Like,
Very cringy, very, very cringy. Let me get to some super chats and we'll get to some clips here. Libby believes Allah gave the true believers false revelation about the crucifixion of Jesus and merely made it seem so. How does he know the Quran isn't false revelation? Also, Islamic epistemology is an oxymoron. Yeah, that's a very good point. In the middle of the debate, like he demonstrated by his own belief that the disciples could not have been preaching Islam or have been Muslim. If they're preaching the crucifixion, which he as a Sunni Muslim has to reject, they could not have been teaching what the Quran teaches. And then he said, yes, they were. They were teaching what the Quran teaches, but they couldn't have been. What they should, and this is what he didn't get in that thick skull of his. If the disciples were going around preaching the crucifixion, they were not preaching Islam. They should have been going around preaching that it was made to appear that Jesus was crucified. And this is why I cited Ibn Kathir, because Ibn Kathir knew that. He's much smarter than Libiano, and that's why he said the disciples knew that someone was put in the place of Jesus in Islamic theology. But Libiano wants us to believe they were Muslim, they were preaching Islam and also the crucifixion, and also somehow didn't start Christianity. This is insane. And are Muslims really going to take that view that the disciples who were supposed to be strict Muslims were actually preaching the crucifixion? Are you going to go for that, Muslims? I'm very curious.
that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. I'm your host, Mike Jones, and welcome back to another episode of Kendawa Read Context. Yeah, never. And it's always false. IP, I watched the full debate. God bless you for putting up with that hate-filled soul. May he leave the cult of Islam and find peace. Yeah, he's got a lot of anger issues. He really was getting emotional throughout that. IP, you owe me 3.5 hours of my life back. I lost many IQ points. Sorry about that. The Turkish Roman. Appreciate it. Libiano had 6 months to prepare, but yeah, can you remind me why he started saying the Bible had false prophecies to show Momo in the Bible? Yeah, did he say that? Did he say there were false prophecies in the Bible? Oh yeah, he did. It said Daniel.
Basically, yeah, basically. He said that for Matthew too. That would technically be false prophecies, the whole thing. So
the 2 books he was going to had failed prophecies, but he somehow knew that these prophecies were true. You can't make this stuff up. Like, this is so ridiculous.
You know they're true because Islam is true, though.
Well,
I have
that's why
supernatural justification, therefore I have localized justification, bro.
No, I have a response to that, actually.
I know who he got it from too. I ain't gonna say it, but I know the exact Muslim he got that from because I know.
Text me.
I'm curious. You can't say that. You can't say it on air.
Maybe I don't know.
Cameron, can Cameron know through transitive property?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know if y'all would know him, but I'll tell you who he is.
Well, he didn't even like really interact with my opening statement. I mean, they need to find their prophet, their Muhammad in our Bible, which is impossible because there's no place in our Bible that says we need a prophet to fix corrupted scriptures we have. So it can't be their Muhammad. They need to find the Muhammad who taught the Quran, who believed in those doctrines, which they can't find in our Bible because any prophet in our Bible is going to be teaching theology that's in line with the Bible and not the Quran. Therefore, Muslims can't even use this argument. This argument cannot be used. But this is one of their go-to arguments to try to prove the truth of Islam, and it's purely circular. And all they do is mock that when we point out it's circular because they can't actually debunk the fact that we know it's circular. I watched Sam Shamoon's live exposing this pagan on the Son of Man being Muhammad and how you did a magnificent job of exposing this pagan. God bless you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Sam Shamoon was live today going over it and just pointing out that I buried him, which is, I mean, again, like, yeah. I mean, Sam Shamoon has criticized me when he doesn't agree with me, and he's like, yeah, you won that. Like, IP man, I don't know how you do it. Hitting my head against a way sounds less painful than watching them debate. I know. Listen, I did the debate because I wanted to expose him on Daniel. That was the whole goal. I knew he was not going to be able to answer me on the history.
The CIP admits he's terrified of talking to Libiano and the other parts of the Bible.
Should do theatrics to show Joe Smith in Quran. Nah. Libiano says Lesbiano had me so mad that I was throwing tools at work. I had to turn the debate off and finish it later. Don't let him live down Daniel 7. He's calling Muhammad the son of man. I don't think he realized what he did. It's so dumb. Yeah, you can't do that because any cloud motif in the Bible refers to a divine figure, specifically Yahweh.
Show me one place where Yahweh comes with the clouds and not just rides on them.
Talk about like this dude's talking about I'm going to use the scholarship and then denies just basic scholarship. Like, oh, but I'm not cherry picking and proceeds to cherry pick. Just
a couple more, then we'll jump in. Drew said in the live stream yesterday that Christians can have more than one wife, but priests only one. Could a new thing for Dawa to latch onto? Well, that's just false according to our physiology. Is someone's mic changed a little bit. I'm getting a lot of room noise. I'm hearing someone typing. Oh, is it Nick? Oh, there we go. I
was typing something in a private chat.
I stopped after 2x ad hominems in open dialogue. Yeah, he could not help but constantly insult. Rashi confirms the Son of Man in Daniel 7 and parallels Mark 14:63 to Revelation 2, but by Rashi standards, it creates a new messianic dilemma, which Jesus or Muhammad is Messiah. Quran crushed again by their own dumb arguments. Very well said. Yeah. So, all right, I want to get to some of his because he has said that they planned his argument, and this is so bad. I could not believe he tried this.
Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a figure from himself, coming sitting on the right hand of God?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear. That's weird.
I can put caption on. I don't know why it's so low. I don't know. It might be your room noise coming and it's interacting, Nick.
Yeah, do you have voice isolation on or anything, Nick?
I don't think it's just the wrong mic. Wait, y'all can hear that fine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, keep playing. I don't know why. It sounded like very in and out. It was weird though. But okay, go ahead.
According to those scholars, but not according to Mark.
Okay, according to that scholarship, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct future figure who will sit on the right hand of God and bring?
Notice said. Notice how dumb this is. According not to the Bible, but what these other scholars say. Let me back up here a little bit.
You got to back up a little bit before that point.
You guys, all right? Let's keep it straight and narrow. And then we'll follow it up with a 30-minute open discussion. You guys will be able to hash out lingering questions and issues, all right? And so with that said, Orthodox Muslim, you're up first for your 15-minute cross-ex, and I will start your time as soon as you begin to ask your first question.
Awesome. Is the Son of Man the most glorified?
Most glorified? What do you mean by that?
Can we describe the Son of Man as the most glorified human figure?
Sure. Yeah, what verse are you referring to? I need to know.
Okay.
See,
well, that's all.
What he's doing is he's getting your personal opinion about the Son of Man, right? That's the first thing he does. Watch what he does next. Watch his second question.
Right. It's a bait and switch. Yep.
I just from the cumulative case that Jesus makes in the Gospels about the Son of Man, he's the most glorified. Awesome. Now, according to German scholarship, according to Adela Collins, E.P. Sanders, Bart Ehrman, and Rudolf Bultmann, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct figure from himself, sitting on the right hand of God?
According to those scholars, but not according to Mark.
Okay, according to that scholarship, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct future figure who will sit on the right hand of God and bring God's kingdom?
No, notice the question has nothing to do with the Bible. It's according to what scholars say. It
also doesn't have anything to do with your opinion anymore. We're talking about these particular scholars who have these opinions. So this is what I was saying earlier, is that he's trying to get these concessions from you, but he's not connecting them in any coherent way. The first question was about your personal opinion about the Son of Man. The second question is, do these scholars, the select list that I've, created myself, does this select list of scholars think that the Son of Man is a distinct figure? And then your response was great. You're like, well, according to those scholars, but not according to Mark. And it just, those two things don't have anything to do with each other. Your view on the Son of Man being the most glorified human figure has nothing to do with these scholars, this particular list of scholars who think that the Son of Man is a distinct figure from Jesus. You can't combine those two concessions into anything substantive, into anything that's going to get a gotcha. And he thinks that he thinks he's doing that. It's bizarre. It's like so weird.
It's such a non sequitur. And he said this is what they had planned. Like they had planned this out. That's how bad they are at philosophy. They had planned this out and they didn't realize it was a blatant non sequitur.
If this was planned, that's way worse. That is way worse.
Because
when you plan something ahead, you have time to think it through. You have time to try to make the connections. It's all this loose garbage that you're trying to tie together somehow, and it doesn't work. It's the same thing with the Daniel 2 stuff. Same thing with the Daniel 2 stuff.
As I said, according to those scholars, but not according to the Gospel of Mark, is
okay. All right, so that's a yes. Beautiful. So
that's a yeah. See, listen to how much of a pathological liar he is. That's a yes. And what did I say? Not according to Mark. So I said no.
See, but he's trying to get these. He's trying to get these concessions. But again, like it doesn't matter if the concessions don't line up and don't lead to anything. It's completely like it's pointless. It's pointless what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he uses these tactics in a lot of debates where he'll sit there and say, "Oh well," he'll try to get a gotcha moment, and then this gotcha moment will have nothing to do with actually the substance of the conversation. So then he can go back later and say that he won, and it's insane.
Well, when you have a generation, when your fans are the product of 40 generations of cousin marriage, they're not going to pick up on this stuff. That's what's going on. Go on. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to ask, like, do you think he actually understands the mistake he's making there?
No.
Nope.
Or
nope.
It's that bad.
Because it's either just stupidity it's either incompetence or he's lying and he knows what he's doing.
I think it's incompetence. That's what I'm going to attribute it to. I think he just can't see the connections. Like he thinks in his mind, like there's got to be a connect. Like if I can get Mike to admit this, and then I can get him to admit this, then it follows. Like it doesn't. It just doesn't follow. Like I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's that intelligent.
Right. It's like this is so ridiculous. Like if you were going to ask me, like for example, like, does Richard Elliott Friedman think Moses wrote the Bible? I'd say yes. That's not me saying I don't think wrote the Torah, for example. But that's not me saying I don't think Moses wrote the Torah. Richard Elliott Friedman says no. All he got was me to say, yeah, there are scholars who think that. So what? That's not what Mark is saying. And by the way, as I pointed out, scholars like Bart Ehrman admit Mark is saying Jesus is the Son of Man, the very documents they have to go to. This is how bad they are at this. Their own scholars debunk them.
That's the scholarly position of those scholars. Beautiful.
It's one.
What does Ahmed mean in Arabic?
Most praised one, I believe.
Most
and you
glorified.
are right. You're right about that.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean most glorified.
No, as I pointed out, guys, Muslims are pointing this out to him. He's distorting this meaning. It does not mean most glorified one. It means the praised one. So he's lying to you again. So Muslims,
he's confused. I think again, incompetence is on display here because he, I think, is in his mind thinking that these are synonymous terms. He thinks that praiseworthy is the same as glorified. He thinks those two are synonymous terms and can be used interchangeably, but it's not the case. They're distinct terms. They're related, but they're very distinct terms.
And as we mentioned earlier, it doesn't make any sense if Muhammad's the most glorified, and that's really what he believes. Well, guess what? That's shirk. Because now you say Muhammad is the most glorified. Oh, it doesn't actually mean the most glorified. It just means kind of because God's the most glorified. Is God,
no, he said most glorified human figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is crazy because Ahmed, if it means most glorified, it would just mean most glorified. Period. Adding human in would just be him adding that into the meaning, which wouldn't be in the meaning, which is crazy.
But just think about this. So Muslims, he's setting you up for failure. You're going to go out and say that stuff and you're going to be wrong. And our fans, people that watch us, are going to be able to easily debunk you. I mean, is that what you want? These are your heroes, really? They're setting you up for failure here with their lies? This is wild stuff.
So he gets, to sort of recap, he gets two concessions. The first concession is Son of Man is the most glorified human figure from Mike. That's the first concession. The second concession is that this select group of scholars thinks that the Son of Man is a distinct human figure or a distinct figure from Jesus. And then the third concession is not a concession. It's a false claim that he makes in response to you actually getting it accurate. And so that's what he has. That's what he has so far. He's got these two unrelated concessions, and then he's got a false claim that he just made. That's what's in his pocket. And look, keep playing. Look what he does next. Like, just see what happens.
Yeah, let me put it back up. Yeah, this is insanely bad. But these are the arguments they got to use, and they're just going to make their fans set up for failure. Like, could you imagine Libiano fans going into God Logic stream trying this? They're going to get roasted. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care what's going to happen to his fans.
So you mean to tell me that in scholarship, Jesus spoke
scholarship, not the Bible,
about somebody who's Ahmed, the most glorified, distinct figure who will come in the future distinct from himself?
This is about Muhammad in the Bible, not what these scholars say.
Can you answer that? According to these scholars, did Jesus speak about Ahmed, distinct Son of Man figure who will come in the future sitting on the right hand of God?
No, they did not speak about Ahmed. They spoke about the Son of Man.
Did you say the Son of Man is the most glorified?
He is the most glorified in the
gospel.
Look at
that. See, look at that. He's confusing these two concessions that he got from you. The first one is unrelated to the second one. Again, maybe it just needs to be pointed out, maybe for the benefit of the audience. Again, the first concession is about Mike's own personal opinion about the Son of Man. The second one is about the scholarly, the select group of scholars that think the Son of Man is a distinct person from Jesus. Those are unrelated because Mike disagrees with those scholars. On top of that, those scholars don't think that the Son of Man is the most glorified human figure. So it's just all over none of it connects. And what he's trying to do here is like, oh, I've got you. And it's just so bad. It's like so it's one of the biggest non sequiturs that I've seen in a live debate. And what I think the problem though, with like Libiano and people like him, is that they, in a live debate setting, you throw out a bunch of confusion and people can't just like sort through it on the fly. And so and if you don't give like an immediate response, we were kind of joking before the stream went live, like Than asked me a question, I didn't respond right away. And he's like, see, you've lost. And it's like, that's what they do. And instead of like, giving people a chance to think and trying to like actually develop these arguments, and like, it's all bravado. It's all rhetoric, and none of it is real. It's all garbage.
It's garbage.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
I mean, yeah, this is what we're dealing with, folks. I don't know. It just came from nowhere, but yeah, this is insane. Like, this is not. It's such a non sequitur, and there's like
he thinks he's just got you. He just thinks he just got you in his pocket. Like you.
Truth claims truth. Yeah, the truth is dictated by clip farming. Dishonest gotcha,
dude.
moments.
And then Dean Responds posted this on his X.
I know,
like a standalone
so dumb.
clip, as if like we just like, and if he had been working on this in advance,
they're so
can only assume
stupid.
That he and Dean have been working on this together, and they were both like, "Oh yeah, we got him, dude, we got him."
That's so disappointing. That's so disappointing.
This is what we're dealing with. I mean, like, could you imagine? Like, I'm just trying to think of like a comparison, like of how would this work on them? Like you could say like, doesn't the Quran say that there's going to be a Mahdi? Isn't it the opinion of some people that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is the Mahdi? Oh, so you just admitted Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is the Mahdi? Like that's similar to what Libiano is doing here, which he would recognize as a stupid
I think it's
argument.
Worse. I think it's worse. I think he just doesn't understand like the connections between the concessions that he got from you. Well, and the third one he just like got wrong. He just like made up that Ahmed, it means most glorified human figure. Like he literally just made that up. And I just don't think he understands like the way that those two concessions work. Hopefully the audience can see through it at this point.
Mike, we actually even covered the whole Ahmed thing in a stream with Jolly Giant or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
he's a Greek professor right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Yep.
Was glorified?
If you say so.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, notice. I'm saying you're saying.
Thank you. I got
like-
you. Thank you.
Like, this is so stupid. And this is Dawa, folks. Muslims are going to go into our call-in streams and they're going to get cooked because Libiano set them up for failure. This is
Brother,
pathetic.
Muslims ate that up. Oh my gosh, he just got him so bad. They mean the same thing. It's over with.
This is this just reminds me of the time where Libiano admitted the logic that Jesus is God in a sense.
Yeah.
This is the only part I think, Mike, that you messed up on is when you basically conceded that Ahmed means most glorified. You
Well,
said,
I
so.
didn't even concede it. I was just like, if you say so, but I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that's not even the right word, the right meaning. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even
Maybe
say
it
I
just
agree
didn't
with
come
that.
across.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Thank you very much. That's the debate, ladies and gentlemen. IB
That's the
says
debate.
that Ahmed
That's the
will
debate.
come according to this scholarship. Thank you very,
So again, you can use non sequiturs and you think you won the debate in Dawa land.
very much.
All right,
Now,
are you gonna let me actually
let's-
respond
let-
now instead of letting
It's-
you just let me respond
that
because
was
Ehrman
your
says in his
answer?
book
Pause it really quickly one more time.
when Jesus.
So okay, so let's give him everything that he wants. Okay, let's give him let's make up in our minds that these concessions that he got from you in this false statement all lead to this conclusion that he spit out, that this scholarship concludes that Jesus prophesied Muhammad in the Bible. Okay, let's give him that. What follows from that? It follows that these scholars say this one thing. It does not follow that you're conceding that Muhammad is in the Bible. It's not the debate. It's
I
not
know.
the debate.
He
The
doesn't seem
debate
to
is
get
not
that.
over. The argument that he gave is a non sequitur. We've been through that numerous times. But then the conclusion, even if you give him his conclusion that the scholar, oh man,
Yeah, we're not
it
dealing
doesn't
with
follow.
people that know how
it's
logic
nothing.
works.
It's
It's a huge nothing burger.
Over. Yeah,
huge nothing burger. You know, let me actually respond now instead of letting you let me respond.
Because,
Because
wait,
Ehrman
sorry,
says in
Mike.
his
But
book when Jesus
again,
comes
just
in-
inverse the chain of reasoning here again. Libiano, does scholarship say that the Son of Man is not Muhammad? Yes. Well, there's a debate, everybody.
Yeah, there you go. That's the debate. Yep.
I
When
got your
Jesus
answer,
became, you let me respond now. Okay. Ehrman
ahead.
says in his debate book, when did Jesus become God? I think you need to understand that for Mark himself, the author of this gospel, Jesus is the Son of Man. Jesus is coming back in glory. Those scholars you're citing are saying that the historical Jesus said the Son of Man was distinct, but that's not what is presented in the gospel. The debate topic is Muhammad in the Bible, not is Muhammad in the works of Bart Ehrman. So can you stay on topic, please?
I thought
Yeah,
that was a good line.
that's a non-sequitur.
Yeah. He doesn't understand.
He did
that's
not
a
just say
non-sequitur.
that's a non sequitur.
Bro,
He
there's
did.
no way.
This is how
That's a
dumb he
non-sequitur.
is. Libiano, this is so dumb.
Dude,
You just gave so many
How is that a
non-sequiturs.
non sequitur?
Brother said the debate topic.
My
The debate
gosh,
topic
bro.
is a non sequitur, guys. The
How are you
debate
this
topic-
dumb?
idiot.
This is. I am fully convinced these guys just say philosophical words and don't know what the hell they're even saying
Oh,
at
no,
this
I
point.
promise you're right. I promise you're right on that. 100%. I
Yeah.
promise that's true.
Get
I
us some
mean,
super chats.
it's crazy.
What is the context of Matthew's circular statement? Not trying to poke fun. I thought you did great yesterday. Yeah, because this is what they don't get. He is trying to do typology. He's saying, can I read into Isaiah 29, Muhammad? Yeah, but that's circular. Matthew is doing typology. He's using Jesus as a type or a pattern to read the Old Testament. Okay. If you were going to use that as evidence for Christianity, that would be a circular argument too. That's the point. So if you're using what they're doing and applying it to Matthew, it would also be circular. But they don't actually know what I was saying because Libiano didn't want me to talk. He just wants to clip farm because he's desperate because he knows Dawa is collapsing. So they don't actually
Yeah. And if you actually look at the scholarship on what typology is in the Second Temple period, like for instance, Matthew's most likely doing a type of Pesharim, which is attested in the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is when you take thematic things that happened in the Old Testament, you find patterns and stories, and then if you have a figure or current historical event, and you're arguing that a particular figure is retelling Israel's history thematically, again, to fulfill Israel's past in continuity with what the previous scriptures say narratively, right? In that point, it's actually not circular because you're actually taking the thematic concerns and going, hey, Exodus starts here, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. Look, Jesus mirrors this. By the way, one of the scholars that Liviano likes to quote, Dale C. Allison, has a book called The New Exodus and The New Moses, where he outlines this specifically and points out that it's not circular reasoning.
And by the way,
yeah, I was
wanna
going to say,
something.
I don't really see that it
hold on.
is.
Well, real quick. My point was it would be circular if he was doing the same thing that the Dawa bros are doing. But they didn't actually understand what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they think you're saying Matthew is actually engaging in a circular argument.
Yeah.
Yours was the condition. Yours included a conditional. If you're doing what you guys, if Matthew's doing what you guys are doing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I want to say a funny thing too is that the Orthodox Muslims in the chat and saying we're doing damage control right after he just finished a 3.5 hour live. Right after we just finished a 3.5 hour live.
He's not even, look, Liviano, you're not even worth anybody's time at this point, dude.
Wait, right after doing a 3.5 hour debate review live, we're 30 minutes in, but we're the ones doing damage. It's okay.
Hey, Liviano,
he's just, this is
have you learned what a non sequitur is yet? Have you learned about what a non sequitur is? We're still waiting.
This is,
hopefully he was listening to what we just went over. That portion of the debate.
This is what a projection is, by the way.
Liviano, go back and listen to the section that we just got done looking at in the debate with you. It's pretty bad. It is very bad.
Your arguments are so bad, man. It's he says the Romans aren't really relevant for Daniel since they are never mentioned in Daniel 2 or 7. Well, the point is that they say that the bottom of the statue is the Roman Empire, and then they say the stone destroyed that empire, and they say that's Islam. So I was pointing out they can't actually make that historical case. You can't say that because the Ottoman Empire just claimed to be the Roman Empire. You can't claim to destroy an empire. You claim to
that
inherit.
The Romans are the fourth kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even
so
if you assume that, even if you assume that, it doesn't follow that the Ottomans were the ones who came in and destroyed the Roman Empire. In the 1400s. It doesn't.
Can I let up this loser?
In a minute. When do you need to take off, Cam?
Pretty soon.
Okay, yeah. When Cam goes, we got a replacement for him since he's taken off.
Oh, okay. We got a second stringer.
Well, so
yeah, that's crazy.
Brother, God bless. But why didn't you press him on that it's not the same God, that Allah is not? I did in the opening thing. I pointed that out. He never responded to that though, so he conceded the whole biblical prophet dilemma. And so I just used the rest of my time to press him on Daniel and why he couldn't actually use that argument anymore.
Mike, it's a non sequitur though. What's the inference rule?
I did want to say, Mike, to your credit, I think you did a good job of trying to come back like time and time again to get him to give like his metric for when the Roman Empire ended. I thought that like it was obviously annoying him, and I think even maybe Marlon was like kind of annoyed with it too. But I thought it was really good. Like you came in, you were wanting to discuss Daniel 2, and I think you did a really good job trying to bring it back to that time and time again. And eventually, like it did backfire on him. So
I mean, seriously, it got to the point where in the open discussion, he did not want to talk about it anymore. I mean, he was totally running, saying, we need to talk about these blunders. And Nick, we have for the first 7 minutes of the open. Can we switch to something else?
And Nick,
that was his whole opening statement too. Like this was his argument. Like, why don't you want to discuss your argument that you gave that supposedly shows that Muhammad is in the Bible? Like you just discuss the argument, give a response to what Mike's question is.
This guy's such a loot. Sorry, Mike, but like,
he can't solve the dilemma.
I'll verify this, but on his live, apparently, talk about damage control, man. What a pathetic man.
I never had the chance to give a rebuttal to the dilemma,
dude. You're
you can't solve it, man.
You can't solve it. That's why.
Yeah. And by the way,
did he give it in his live? Did he try to?
I've not.
I don't know. I'll have to watch. I didn't watch his live.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to solve it. Not gonna be able to solve it. Yeah.
Professional victim behavior, man. You had a whole rebuttal area, and your rebuttal attempt was,
What's the inference rule? What's the argument? It's a non sequitur. Oh my God, always coming up with dilemmas.
Thank you.
That was your
Mike.
chance.
Thank
That
you.
was your chance.
Got my clip. Got
That was
what
your
I
chance.
came in prepared.
Well, this is the truth. This is what happened. Libiano did not come to debate. He came to build something he thought he could clip farm. So that's why in his cross-examination, he tried to build something that he could clip farm. And he wasted time not actually on the debate topic. Everyone saw it. And now he's going to put out clips that are out of context, that are lies, and they're going to set his Muslim audience up for failure. Are you aware that Hosea 11:1 is an inner text with numbers 24:8? No, I'm not. I will look.
Oh, actually, it goes deeper than that, my friend. Yeah, that Hosea passage has really big Christological implications, actually, when you look at all the intertexts, because you have to look at what happens with the Septuagint translations of certain texts.
Orthodox Muslim became an apostate with that claim that Muhammad was the very same Son of Man in Daniel. Yeah, absolutely. It's shirk. Son of Man is a divine figure. They can't get around that, and they're just trying to claim he's not a cloud
Conscious edits. I can choose and pick which parts I want to accept and which ones I want to deny.
My scale, the performance on a scale of 1, 50 million.
Oh my goodness! Did
you sick? I can't read.
You guys probably forgot that the Quran is right because it's never been wrong. That's why. Yeah, that's basically.
No, I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys know that. I think this might be an inside joke. There was a video that God Logic put out recently, and a Muslim literally said that.
Sounds about right. Than, I really liked your point in the super chat when you said prophecy in Daniel doesn't apply to the 7th century, since people back then would have had no way to verify that.
Was that in the one super chat that, the super chat that they read? Well, we can cover that in the timestamp. We have a timestamp for that too. Yeah. There's actually there's 2 super chats that didn't get read, which is something.
Oh yeah. That was kind of disappointing. I tried to use the cosmological argument on an atheist, and he kept asking if the universe has a beginning. Why would it need to be a cause to begin to exist? How do I answer that?
That's just denying the causal principle if you give like the kalam.
Yeah. Lost IQ reading comments after the debate afterward. Yeah, actually, I want to play a quick video on this because this is what they have. This is what they do. Like they know their arguments suck when they're doing this kind of crap. They're sending people to these debates
Comment
to
sections.
just flood the comments. Yeah, to claim that they won. So
debate, okay? Malik is a Zalima.
Hey, yo, Unc, barakallahu feek, brother. First of all, don't bring up just anybody, don't bring up nobody. Guys, don't. Sorry, barakallahu feek, the guy came up, but not the right place to do those kind of shout outs.
But hey, if y'all gonna take something from this, remember everybody, this is very important. We are all the Roman Empire.
Yeah, so look guys.
They can't even get the argument right there. They're that dumb.
Libiano just texted me, guys. He told everybody here watching. He says
hold on, listen.
He would really appreciate it if you guys all flood the comments. Look at the comments, guys. The Gospel Truth on YouTube. Go in there, go to his lives, you'll see it. Everybody comment W Libiano, comment Libiano, put BTA, whatever you guys want to comment.
So Libiano's in such damage control mode that after the debate, he's going around telling people, flood the comments, guys, so they know, so that everyone thinks I did really good. Like, this is desperation, man. Desperation.
Yeah, Muslims are the only ones that do that go and like start spamming in comments afterwards because
we need to look like we won.
It's bad. It's very bad. Yeah, I was watching lives earlier and people were sitting there saying like, oh, because the Christians, they have, all this, camaraderie together and we don't. And it's true. The Dawah scene is in shambles. Like once a month, they're fighting with each other. It always happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I know why they fight so much.
What's the hypothesis?
Well, tell us.
The hypothesis is
the hypothesis is look at this nerd.
We're gonna get some flack for this.
Man, that my inner Dawa is just coming out today. I'm sorry.
Calm down, son. Calm down.
My hypothesis is that because they dispute over like these internal theological disputes, right? It's just the whole thing. The hypothesis is Islam is nonsense. Therefore, expect these dumb theological disputes to separate them. That's the hypothesis. All right, hey, I'm gonna head out.
Fine, get out of here. He's running.
Nice seeing you, Cameron.
I'm running.
Oh, wait, Cameron.
He comes back.
Cam, real quick. Sujwadi thinks that this argument that you know about that I've been working on should
Guys,
get published.
we're doing a stream here. Talk about your
Oh,
drama
nice.
later. Anyway, get out of here.
You're on a date or something, man. Come on, bro.
What's up, man? You're
Hola.
muted. There you go. Your mic's not working. Hold up.
Brother
You're
talking-
muted, man.
brother
Man,
talking to
you gotta
himself.
unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Oh my
John.
gosh.
There we go.
I have fans audio,
There
but
you
I don't
are.
have it. I have fans audio. I don't have any.
There you go. Now you have.
You
now
can only hear
are.
me.
Yep.
Can you
I
hear
can
me?
only hear
Alright.
you.
Leave and come back.
Leave and come back. Kick from studio. Yeah. All right. Whatever. What a loser. Anyway, let's get to this clip. This is where he's really thinks he's gonna do something here. Because again, this is just him trying to clip farm. He's wasting his cross-examination to get clips, guys. This is what Dawa is at this point.
There we go.
I'm gonna deal with that because we don't have a lot of time. All right. So in John 41, does Jesus fulfill that?
John 41?
Nah, this was hilarious. This was I was sitting there like I had to re-listen. I was like, did he say John 41? He said it like 3 times, by the way.
He said it like 3 times.
No,
Yeah.
I genuinely
Bro,
think he
I
literally
was
thought it John
actually
41.
when I heard this part, I was gaslighting myself because I was like, hey, wait, no, ain't no way I don't know about this. Like what? And I'm looking it up. I'm like, what the heck is happening? I'm like, no, Libiano just like really messed up there.
No, I thought he was. Oh, maybe he said John 4:1. Like, that's me. It's
Nope,
my
he
bad.
said
I'm like,
41.
oh,
Maybe
Yeah.
that's guys, he was citing the Injil. Okay?
Oh, I was about to say
There
it,
you
but
go.
it must be in one of the sayings of Jesus.
Mhm.
Lost. That's lost the time. Wait, we should call that the magical Injil, right?
The magical Injil is where John 41 is, guys. Yeah.
Turn against me. Did Jesus fulfill John 41 verse 9? The one who ate my bread will turn against me, according to John 12.
There is no John 41.
Sorry,
verse
sorry.
9. What are you
Psalm
talking
41.
about? Psalm 41. What you doing? How you doing, John? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. So here's the dilemma I have, right? This is the John dilemma right now. He said so much of nothing. I don't know if you guys are almost done with your review, but yet simultaneously he said so many stupid things. I think we might be here a while. So which one?
Oh no.
Which one is it?
That's a good question, man. That's a good
My
question.
money's on the stupid things, but that's
Mhm.
Is it on the stupid things? Okay.
I'm just here to party.
Again, I keep saying this. They are setting their Muslim followers up for failure. Any of these arguments they try to use against our followers are going to be destroyed easily because they're not going to come. And thumping your chest is not going to refute us. But this is what Dawa is.
Wait, so is this point is he trying to just say that like John only quotes a partial, like that the Psalm partially?
Yeah, Psalm 41. Yeah.
And so Jesus only fulfills a partial prophecy?
Yeah.
Dude, Libiano, you have to look into the scholarship on typological prophecy. My God,
He doesn't know. He doesn't understand how typology works.
Listen.
It's so clear.
The author of the gospel partially cites a passage because he knows his intended audience will know what he's alluding to and fill in the thematic gaps.
Mhm.
So they can too understand the argument of the theme and motif and pattern Jesus fits into.
Well, it's crazy too
This
because
is-
the point is, if you even know how the Bible was like first written, it wasn't written in chapters. So like, if you were to even take a whole quote unquote chapter of what we have today, like Psalm 22, and say, "Oh, this is about Jesus," well, there was no Psalm 22 in the beginning. It was just in the middle of a bunch of text. So what are you gonna say then? Oh, well, you just pick this part out, and it's not applying to the whole. Everything of Psalms isn't about Jesus, and so it's just so stupid.
It's very stupid. Yeah. Let's get to this section here where he decided to try to change the debate to the LPT. Yeah, that's actually what happened. Yeah, that happened.
Matthew circular, ladies and gentlemen. All right, fantastic.
Sure,
The
yeah.
Kingdom of God mono.
Yeah, he doesn't get the argument. If he was doing what Libiano's doing, yeah, that's so circular argument. But he doesn't understand the point he's trying to make. This is so dumb.
I'm pretty sure these guys actually just can't think in conditionals. Like if
They
they
don't know
hear
how
the
to
word
think in
if,
conditionals.
the word if just literally goes through their head, and then they hear the rest of the sentence.
This is, guys, this is it. This is really good news. Not only did Libiano do horrible in this debate, again, he's setting his followers up for failure. All of his followers are now going to try these arguments and fail. Sure, yeah.
Under classical logic, are there three gods?
Nah,
It
this
depends
is
on how you
crazy.
formulate it. That has nothing to do with the topic.
Yeah, it does.
No, it
You
doesn't.
said the kingdom of God is
Oh my
monotheistic, so Daniel's kingdom is supposed to be monotheistic. Under classical
Okay.
logic, if we counted the same way we count everything else, are there three gods?
This is
Right there, he immediately assumes his definition of monotheism. He
Right.
but
immediately
not only that, this is totally anachronistic.
Mhm.
Like you're trying to apply classical logical systems to ancient authors that were not thinking in this way. This is just moronic.
Brother, when I heard this, I immediately tweeted something out. 'Cause I'm like, there's no way. First of all, he's wrong and knows nothing about
Yeah,
the
he's
LGT at all.
absolutely wrong.
There is no one classical counting method that you can say. I mean, you
Exactly.
can read people like Peter Geach, and he talks about that.
This
And
is
number
what-
two, go
This
ahead.
is what he doesn't get, Nick. This is what a lot of these Muslims don't get. Like they're going to an old time when I talked to Danny Phil talk where he was defining identity in a very specific way. And then these moronic Muslims like Libiano just thought that was classical logic. Because they don't know philosophy, they don't realize, as you just said, there are different systems in classical logic, and there are even systems outside of classical logic. This is how philosophically inept they are. They think this is a win, and they're just showing their own stupidity.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like every single Muslim that I debate, when it's going poorly for them, they immediately resort to the Trinity. They immediately resort to the incarnation. That's like their nonsensical get out of jail free card, in which they just have to change the subject to that because they're getting so bodied.
Or they do the whole, I'm going to ask you a question, and depending on how you answer it, I'm going to find this really, really, really obscure heresy that you don't know about and tell you that you were committing it. And then you go, thanks, I'll update my beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, especially too, like they'll try to a lot of times quote people like Bo Branson and stuff like that when they talk about, if you use classical counting method, it can be three gods. But like even like when Bo Branson's talking about that, he's talking about some like modern logic like Frege, like the logic then people like Frege and Bull use, like they're speaking about a specific type of new counting method that they don't even say this counting method has always been used in the same way it's used today. And so it's totally a conflation, but he hasn't read the history of logic, so he doesn't know that.
He doesn't at all. He doesn't at all.
He hasn't even read the history of monotheism. Like that's the point. He assumes that monotheism has a universal definition across all time. That's not the case. And so when he says here that, hey, this is monotheism, and the reason I can bring this up in the debate is because Daniel 2 is talking about monotheism. Well, guess what? We would affirm it's monotheistic as well. We just don't take your stupid definition of monotheism that is only going to apply to your religion.
Yeah, the word monotheism is stupid, in my opinion.
It is. It's very stupid. Yeah. Depends on how you're defining identity. It depends. And this,
So
again, has nothing to do with Muhammad.
I said under absolute identity, are there three gods?
Define absolute identity. Give me a rigorous definition, because that's not a... What? Go ahead.
Under classical identity...
Notice he can't even define identity.
Mike,
He can't even define it. What an idiot.
define absolute identity. Under classical logic,
dude.
Hey, you know who could define identity? Hey, Nick, define identity. You're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, if we're talking about what identity is, there's multiple meanings because you have relative identity, absolute identity. So the real question would be, okay, which type of identity, which is why you asked what type of identity is there? Because if we're using different, which by the way, he doesn't know this, but he's actually appealing to absolute identity because he appeals to Leibniz's law. Leibniz's law used absolute identity. Leibniz's law doesn't always work when using relative identity because relative identity isn't always absolute. And so he has no clue what he's talking about when he's talking about identity. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I asked him, expecting something. And again, because he's Libiano and he wants to just talk all the time, I didn't even get to ask him that stuff.
Are there three gods? Leibniz's
Again,
law.
you need to define, give me a rigor.
Well, you did the right thing, though.
Leibniz's law.
What's that?
You did the right thing. So the moment that he shifted off topic and tries to take it to a completely irrelevant place, when you're bringing it back, like that's the right move. You don't have to engage with the stupidity, and you didn't.
Oh yeah, this is pure stupidity.
Yeah. Notice when you ask him again, what type, he says Leibniz's law. Well, Leibniz's law uses a type of identity. right? It's
Right.
talking about indiscernibles. Leibniz's law is literally talking about the difference between indiscernibles. It is not it is not itself the type of identity. Like, it's insane.
He doesn't get the basics. Yeah, he does. It wasn't making any sense here.
Under Leibniz's law, are there three gods?
It's irrelevant to the topic. This is not Tawhid
No,
versus Trinity. So
are
can
you
you
gonna-
actually keep on
No,
topic?
under Leibniz, I'm
Okay.
gonna ask again. Under Leibniz's law,
You
are
can
there
ask
three
me
gods?
again, but it doesn't have anything to do with the topic.
So you're not gonna answer? Okay,
No,
sure.
it's not
Did
with
you-
the topic.
All right,
Show me
did
Muhammad's
you-
in the
did you-
Bible. What is
all
he,
right,
what are you
beautiful.
doing?
All right, beautiful. No, it is.
He doesn't even understand the very issues he's bringing up. It's not has anything to do with the topic. Guys, he just came to this debate to clip farm. He knows he can't show Muhammad's in the Bible. He's just trying to clip farm. It's very obvious.
Yep.
Well, by the way, too, if we're using the law of, if we're using Leibniz's law, it
Yeah.
still wouldn't lead to three gods. It would lead to modalism, because Leibniz's law is just saying if X and Y share all the same properties, then they're going to be identical. So if the Father and the Son were to share all the same properties, they'd be identical. It has nothing to do with there being three gods or multiple gods. Like, it has nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Couldn't define identity. Just remember that. Someone go ask if he can define identity yet or knows what a non sequitur is. Muslims thought he won because you said Matthew was circular without them understanding what that meant. Well, yeah, that's because they don't understand conditionals or context. They're just looking for clips to farm. And again, they will set their followers up for failure every single time. Funny, he said you lied about the Visigoths claiming to be a part of Rome when they actually did claim that. I know. So did the Ostrogoths. So did the Franks. They were claiming this stuff. They did not claim to end the Roman Empire. They claimed to just enter it and become it. Like we are now ruling over Romans. Therefore, we are essentially the Roman Empire in this land here. Like when the Ostrogoths ended the Western Roman Empire, people don't realize, they didn't go, we've ended the Roman Empire. Do you know what they said? They said, we don't need two Roman emperors. That we're going to work with the Roman emperor in Constantinople. That's the Roman emperor. And they saw themselves as, in a sense, subjects under that Roman rule, even though they were kind of doing their own thing. They saw themselves kind of like as a vassal in certain ways, and in other ways not. But they still didn't think they were ending the Roman Empire. People do not realize this because these Muslims have not studied the history. Most glorious one is, yeah, it's a lot. That's what I was thinking later. I'm like, Muhammad
Did
can't be
y'all?
the most glorious one?
I don't remember the chronology of the debate. Did y'all already cover like the Ahmed stuff?
We're jumping around. We did cover that. Yeah, we covered that a lot earlier. Yeah. Cameron wanted to cover that, so
That was so
stupid. That was the.
It was really
John,
bad.
He told me they planned that. So not only was that blatant fallacious reasoning, non sequiturs, they had planted that. That's how dumb they are.
Like, I know
They
y'all
planned
covered it.
the
I
clip
won't
farm.
talk about it.
Chat. Hey, chat. Who am I, by the way? What does that tell you about the types of debaters and thinkers these people are? Where they're not planning like actual good cross-examination, substantive questions. Their plan is, how can we clip farm this guy?
Right. That's all they're.
Well, they're beggars. Functionally, they are beggars that have to rely on the benevolence of Christians in order to give them anything.
Mhm.
So when it comes to the platform, I think Nick might have mentioned earlier about like God logic. Like that's where he primarily got his platform, is his debate with God logic. He relies on the benevolence of Christians.
Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah, that's absolutely what they're doing. Oh, sorry, I forgot this. Wouldn't using Daniel 7 as Muhammad be shirk? It absolutely is. And I tried to point that out, but he doesn't understand the cloud motif. That
Oh my
is,
God.
Dude.
Again, scholars can't help him there. They're all going to say this is a divine being as far as I can find.
He's like, there's a distinction in coming with the clouds and riding on the clouds.
Hey, Mike, is there a difference between me coming to your house with a car and riding in my car to your house?
Obviously, you carried the car in the first one.
So the Son of Man is carrying the clouds.
Like this John J. Collins a scholar
Yeah.
they'll use sometimes. The idea the Son of Man is like a collective like of Israel. That doesn't show up till the medieval period.
Yep, it's not attested until the medieval period in Jewish circles.
All early interpretations, this is a divine figure. What does that tell you?
Muhammad is good. That's what.
Could I get a shout out for my Dawagandist parody song channel? The debate was so brain hurting that I am struggling to put together a new song. Sure, yeah. What is the channel called? Is it Loaves of Bread?
I don't know.
Shout out to Loaves of Bread.
Yeah.
We got Orthodox Lips, Lipiano, Lesbiano, Flippiano, and now Fibiano.
Fibiano.
Libby, yes, no, and Didiano. What did I
Druggiano, because he's climbing ladders.
I've decided if he's going to Shirkiamo, yeah. I've decided if he's going to, if he's going to call me Mikey, I'm going to call him Libby from now on, because if he wants to add a Y to my name, I'm just going to shorten his name. Cam is a nice dude, but Libiano is known to be a pathological liar and is deceitful beyond measure. He's just looking for clips. Easy win IP. Yeah, and that's why, again, his goal was to try to demonstrate Muhammad was in the Bible. He failed to do that. He lost the debate, as everyone has been telling me. Thank you for the generous super chat. He says, I'm afraid to eat anything made by a Muslim. They say baked and cooked so much, but in reality, they're eating raw flour, calling it cake. Well said. Well said. All right, I wanted to jump ahead a little bit to my cross-examination, because this is where he really he really fell apart here.
According to scholarship, what I've seen, it fully ended in 1453.
What is the metric they use to say that's the end of the Roman Empire?
I'm not a historian. I don't know.
So you don't know. So the only metric
I can't.
Wait.
I can't tell you.
This is so important right there, what he just said, because later on, I forget the timestamp, he specifically says that he uses the same epistemology that the scholars are using. So which is it? You have the scholarship dilemma, or whatever you want to call it now, Libiano. Do you know? Do you not know what method they use, or do you know what method they use?
Yeah, and by the way, this is quite literally an appeal to authority fallacy, because appealing to scholars in general isn't an appeal to authority. But when you appeal to scholars with no reason to, and you don't know why they even say the things they say in the slightest, then all you're doing is appealing to authority.
Yeah, at best, it's just weak evidence.
Well, he makes plenty of garbage inferences using historical methodology. But then when you ask him a direct question about historical methodology as it applies to his own freaking argument, and guess what? He doesn't know.
He doesn't.
It's your argument. What do you mean you don't know? Are you lost? Do you know where you are?
He doesn't know. He's that bad at this.
And I know the people on your channel right now are like, "Who's this guy?" I'm nobody. Don't worry about it.
No, people know who you are, John.
Yeah, you're you got 100,000 followers on TikTok, so shut up.
Famous, bro.
Yay.
A metric. I could tell you what I observe, right? But I'm not a historian, so I can't tell you what metric. I would assume it would be the end of their governance. It would be the end of their rule. It would be the end of their image. It would be the end of their systems or governmental systems, and the end of their authority.
Okay, so I can tell you what I observed. Go ahead.
Hold up, real quick. Yeah, hold on. Your mic got really loud, by the way. What'd you do?
I think I'm just yelling.
Close to your...
Oh, did I?
No, you moved it close.
Better?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Dang, that was loud, man. Yeah. Okay. So, by this own metric, he just said, it didn't end in 1453. Why? Because the Ottomans adopted the governmental systems of what was already in Constantinople. They didn't do what the Latin emperors did earlier, which is create an entirely new governmental structure. They adopted it when they claimed to inherit the Roman Empire. So by his own metric, he is now throwing out, just trying to get something. He would be acknowledging the Roman Empire had to last past that. Go ahead. What were you going to say, John?
Yeah, no, I'm saying he says I can.
What is going? All right, I got to fix your mic. What is going on?
Wait, what's happening?
You're so loud. Okay, now talk.
Check 1, 2.
Now talk.
It's a little too low.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Now talk.
Check 1, 2.
That's better. Okay, you're
That's
good now. Jeez.
Yeah, he says I can only go off of what I observe. This is his standard. I can only go off of what I observe. But the argument he's making, is he not observing the metrics that he's using in his argument? What is he? How is he using the term observe here? Because if he's using observe just in like, hey, I can only go based off of how I study history, then you should know the metric because you're studying history. That's the point.
I think all he means there is all I know is what I observe, meaning I am observing certain historians that I'm cherry picking to fit my conclusion, saying these things.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and this works against him, because if he's just going on what historians say, he's got to throw out his entire case for Muhammad in the Bible, because there aren't any scholars that are saying that. Like, what are you doing? You just destroyed your whole case. Didn't the Ottomans just adopt all of the key administrative structures of the Roman Empire?
Let me finish my answer.
This is the funny thing is, he overtalked me during his entire thing, but here he's like, I need more time to talk. But Earl, spoiled little brat.
Yeah, he's a professional victim.
He's a professional victim. Yes, very poor Libiano.
Thank you very much.
Let's allow him to complete his answer.
Yeah. Okay. But according to Daniel, because we're dealing with Daniel, the conquering of Rome is that of the conquering of Greece, is that of the conquering of Medo-Persia, is that of the conquering of Babylon. And I see no difference between what happened to Babylon and what happened to Rome.
Did Muslims conquer the traditional land of Rome then?
Depends on what that means. What does that mean?
He doesn't know where this dude.
Like the basics.
The basics, man.
Traditional land. Who says that's the traditional land of Rome?
Did you hear that? He doesn't know the traditional land of Rome is Italy. This is your top guy, Muslims? This is him? Really? That's where they got started. That's where Rome is.
I know. Yeah, so where they got started means that this is what it means to be Rome?
I'm asking, you said they had to conquer the land. So did the Muslims conquer all the land of Rome?
No, they didn't conquer all the lands. They conquered most of the lands.
Okay, thank you. So they didn't actually conquer the Roman Empire.
Let me finish. I'm answering.
I'm moving on. We're done. I need to move on to other
you're letting
questions.
me. I'm going to answer. Thank you very much.
Hurry up.
All right. So the Muslims conquered what was left of Rome, the Constantinople, and that area of Eastern Europe. They conquered it all, and Rome was no more, according to what scholarship says. Yeah.
Did the Ottomans claim to end the Roman Empire?
Yes, they did.
They did. That is blatantly false.
Blatantly. You could tell he was guessing because he was like, which end it was like a coin flip for him.
Here's the thing, though, guys. This is the first time
I have two options.
This is the first time Muslims have heard this argument. They have been arguing Daniel for over a year now. No one has pointed out to them the Ottomans didn't claim to end the Roman Empire. They claim to inherit it and become it. By that logic, they have to Daniel would see them as part of the statue then. So, because they're claiming to continue Rome by that logic, but he's never ever studied his history.
Oh, and he does in just a few minutes, he does such a poor reductio that has nothing to do with what your argument is. I can't wait for it anyway.
No. Okay, well that is false, but we can move on. Yeah. What was one of the titles the Ottoman sultans had for themselves? Are you aware that it was Kaiser Rum, Caesar of Rome?
Yep.
No, you're not, dude. That's just false. You did not know that.
Yep, I'm sure of that.
When the Roman Empire broke up, and the Ottomans conquered that, does that mean they conquered the Roman Empire according to you?
Broke up what? What are you referring to?
In 1204.
I'm not aware. I'm not aware what you're referring to.
Yeah, I know you don't know the history. What about the Western Roman Empire? Did that reformulate into the Holy Roman Empire?
The Holy Roman Empire?
Yeah, did that not reformulate into the Holy Roman
knowledge
Empire?
gap.
Brother didn't know anything.
What year?
Does it? No.
Like nothing.
Do you know what traditional Rome is?
Sharp.
No. Do you know what the Holy Roman Empire is? Also no. Do you know that they called themselves this? Oh, yes, of course I know that. Okay, so you know like a really, really niche fact. Like that's not something that is super common in the same way we talk about the traditional Rome, or in the same way we talk about the Holy Roman Empire as like land masses and as like how they're actually spread throughout that land. But specifically, now on the hypothesis, I'm going to weigh that you actually knew this other thing. No.
Yeah.
And he's like nervously fidgeting with some little blue thing.
And I mean, like, if you just look at the actual history here, this is important, because if we're going on, the main book he's using is this pathetic excuse for a book Abraham fulfilled. And by the way, everybody, I have gone through this book now, read it from front to finish. I've made extensive notes on it, and I mean extensive notes, just debunking this whole book thoroughly in this Google Doc. David and Wood and I are going to be on his channel tomorrow. We're going to announce this, and well, I'm announcing it now, but we're going to start going through and showing you how bad this book is. But this is where he's getting this from. In the words Daniel, Islam crushed and brought an end to the world empires at the time, including the mighty Romans and Persians. And you can see my note over here. Islam did not end the Western Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, the Russian Empire, which claimed to descend from the eastern half. The original empire of the supposedly rightly guided caliphs did not end the Byzantines, as that did not happen until the Ottoman Empire. However, the Ottomans didn't believe they ended the Eastern Roman Empire, but saw themselves as a continuation of it. The Sultans called themselves Caesar of Rome and used the name Roman, for Anatolia and its inhabitants. They kept the administrative structures of the Byzantines and aristocracy. George of Trebizond even said Mehmed II was the real emperor of Rome. And if you read, I have quotes here, 4 quotes from scholars. Look at this one at the bottom. According to the Ottomans, their advance into Europe meant that they were the inheritors of Byzantium and were thus to be considered the new Romans. Okay? They saw themselves as Rome. That's why they kept pushing west, because they were trying to reclaim all the territory of the Roman Empire, because according to them, they were Rome. So guess what? They did not end the Roman Empire by that standard. What metric are we using to say the Roman Empire ended? They don't got anything. And again, here's the main point though. If you're going to say that when an outside people conquered Rome, like the Ottomans did, that makes the end of the Roman Empire. You just admitted the Roman Empire ended in 1204 when the Latins came in and conquered Constantinople, setting themselves up, calling themselves the Roman emperors. If they get to be Roman emperors, then so do the Ottomans, because the actual people that fled and lost, went to Nicaea, for example, or Trebizond, they weren't calling themselves the Roman Empire anymore. The Latin emperors were. So if they get to continue the Roman Empire by that same standard, so do the Ottomans. So there is no good definable metric that you can make or show to say the Roman Empire ended in 1453, because you're going to run into all these difficulties. That's what he doesn't get. And I guarantee you Muslims have not thought about this till I started bringing it up. Now they have to struggle with this, and they're not going to be able to keep using Daniel anymore because of this issue. So learn what I'm teaching you here, use it against them when they bring up Daniel, make them prove Islam actually destroyed the Roman Empire. They will not be able to if you know this history.
But Mike,
Absolutely.
it's the consensus. You're wrong.
And if they bring that up, ask them why it is the consensus. It's the consensus because historians in the West, it's a useful categorization for us. We want to stay there. That way we can categorize the empires we're studying.
I actually have a useful quote for this. If people try to use that, I'll find it. I have a quote actually from Bart Ehrman himself saying that consensus is not evidence.
Oh, his favorite.
And should not be. So.
Ran a speaker encoded debate transcript through a reasoning AI models. All agreed you won on logical consistency and strength of arguments. Happy to share the results over X if you're interested. Yeah, send those to me on X. I'd be happy to take a look at them, especially if you're using multiple models. That'd be cool, because you just ask ChatGPT, I'm always like, I don't know. But if you have like different models all agreeing, that gives you a more robust result. IP, you said Muhammad too became a Roman. Mehmed II. Well, he claimed he did. He claimed he was a Roman and claimed he was a Caesar. I'm not claiming that. Historians are saying that's what he said, and that's what he said, and that's what his subjects said. So what are you gonna do with that? You can laugh at it all you want, but I mean that's not a refutation. You're just laughing because you don't know how to refute it.
Cook that frog.
Desperate Dawa Dubbies turn in every Friday. This is true. This is is this the same comment? But
yeah, it looks like it.
Oh
wait, no, it's a different one.
Something different.
And you went on textual content. Libya and Libyana heavily relied on rhetoric to wedge a circle into a square. Yep. I mean, that's what you run that debate through any AI model. They're going to say I won. And because it's just clear he didn't present any substance. He just lied. Muslims have been moving up in the chain. Every other debate that sooner than later Muslims is going to be Yahweh in a lesser sense. Yeah, Muhammad will be Yahweh in a lesser sense soon. You wait for
Well, Libiano already conceded that on God Logic.
Oh,
We said
I actually
Jesus is
have.
God in a lesser
I have
sense.
I have that
Jesus.
clip if you guys
Yeah,
want to
Jesus
see
is
it.
God, yeah.
Yeah, you can put it up. Let me do a couple more here. You
I'll
see,
put it
all
in the
these
side
Muslims
chat.
need to join the true religion led by Sheikh Avery, the Quran only Christians. I am a Quran only Christian. This is true.
Wait, I think it's this one.
Going to start using non sequitur randomly now. Than is a non sec. I am now Dawa. This is good. Very good. Funniest part was when Libiano yelling for 15 minutes and panic reading in the last minute of his opening statement, still not addressing the topic. Yeah, he lost track of time because he did not prepare well. For the sake of argument, can't compute. Very powerful. Not trying to be factious here, but do these types of Muslims who follow Libiano even understand history? Claiming to be the new Caesar of Rome is acknowledged by historians as being a continuation. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't set a good date for the end of the Roman Empire. If you're going to pick one, the best date will be 1204, because that's the first time you actually have the breakup, the conquering from the outside. But if the Latin emperors, the only people at that time claiming to be Roman emperors, was in 1204 was the Latin emperors when they took over Constantinople. If they get to be the Roman Empire, by that logic, you have to accept the Ottomans were as well. Game over for the argument that Daniel ended the Roman Empire. So you take
Yeah,
it
he
off,
just
Nick?
equivocates. Sorry, go ahead.
What did you say?
Did you say you're taking off, Nick?
Yeah, I'm heading out. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah,
Catch you later,
God
bro.
bless you guys. Good job on the debate.
talk.
And Christ
Good
is still
talking, Nick.
king. See you
Amen,
guys.
bro.
Thank you.
Islam
Real quick,
is-
Mike. Oh,
What
go
is
ahead.
it?
I was
Go
just
ahead,
going to say, I tried to recreate the argument that Libiano was trying to run when he was cross-examining you on the Son of Man being most glorified. So here's the argument. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Premise 1, the Son of Man is the most glorified. Premise 2, according to some scholars, the Son of Man is distinct from Jesus and a future messenger. Premise 3, Ahmed means most glorified. Conclusion. Jesus mentioned Muhammad.
That's not even valid, man. That's
It's not.
It's not valid.
This is the irony, dude. Like these guys say non sequitur all the time, and
Mm-hmm. Islam is begging the question as a religion. Yes. To clarify what I meant by Caesar of Rome, I'm talking about political power, influence, etc., which they did claim. Henceforth, the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, that's the thing. There is no good metric to say the Roman Empire ended in 1453. It's just a useful categorization. Why is it? Why not 1204? If the Ottomans ended the Roman Empire, then so did the Latins. Therefore, the Roman Empire ended in 1204 by the same metrics. They can't get around that. This is why Edward J. Watts argues this in his book, challenging what scholars have been saying, and scholars aren't pushing back because they recognize he's making a good point. The Ottomans were Sufi drum beating, hopping around. They also had Bektashi, dervishes as official. They would pray to Sufi saints for guidance in the 1400s. Very, very, very much what the Salafis want to hear about them. Sorry for being late, IP. I don't forgive you. Please don't give platform to such dishonest abdruls. His blind followers are manifesting in comment section, claiming that you said Ottomans were Romans. Well, listen, let them lie. They can keep lying, and then they're going to look really bad after. So, sent Matt an email for you. Byzantine was already referred to as a Greek kingdom by the 1200s. Yeah, I saw the email. Yeah, that is true. In the West, they weren't even calling them the Romans because they thought the Holy Roman Empire was the Roman Empire. So, like the Holy Roman emperors didn't call the Byzantines Romans; they called them Greeks. Meanwhile, the Greeks called themselves Romans. Who's right? So, by the West standard, they were the Roman Empire as the Holy Roman Empire, which ended in 1806. Who are we going off of here?
Yep. He equivocates on Rome multiple times in the debate, to which he uses Rome in one sense as it applies in like prior to the West, the fall in the East. He uses it in that sense, but then he uses it specifically in the sense of just talking about Byzantium.
Yeah. And they're if we are going to, here's another thing. If we want to go on the consensus of historians, what fell in 1453 wasn't the Roman Empire. It was the Byzantine Empire.
Yep.
The Roman Empire would have ended in 476 then, because they distinguished that as a different empire at that point. So again, doesn't work there either. Doesn't matter how you look at this. You can't use the 1453 date. Therefore, their entire Daniel argument goes right out the window. They have never thought about this till last night, and they are in damage control mode, trying to figure out how to deal with this new argument. They're not going to be able to, though.
I think you nailed it in the very beginning. Like, just if we're only looking exegetically at Daniel 2, you nailed it in the beginning where you actually rebutted it, and you're like, hey, listen, it was not just the feet that the stone took out, right? If you're saying that the stone is the kingdom of God and that is the kingdom of Ishmael, it's not the feet. It took out the entire thing. So you have multiple ways in which it just doesn't work. One, it definitely, I'm sure you guys already covered, it doesn't even defend the prompt. Bringing Daniel 2 to the table doesn't defend the prompt whatsoever. The stone destroys the entire statue, not just the feet. That doesn't even represent your point. And then now you're bringing in just another layer in which it's like, hey, Rome wasn't even like destroyed. It continued on and was assumed by the Ottomans.
Yeah. Sam, what time markers did you want to go? Is there something you wanted to address? We can do that next. I've been picking time markers a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the stuff. Nah,
pick one.
I'm trying to see. Fine. Okay. Oh my god. My goodness.
Pick one. I'm gonna do super chats. You pick one. Hold on.
Fine.
They use the new Islamic version of the Bible. Yes, this is true. Yes. Why did Libiano hate his Quran so much? They can't prove a single one of their stupid claims from their stupid book. He never quoted the Quran even once. All he used was a corrupt Bible. Not even that. Not even that. He used Sheikh Ehrman, Sheikh E.P. Sanders. This is their authority now. They got nothing at this point. They cannot show the Bible predicts a prophet named Ahmed, or we can find a description of Muhammad in there. Therefore, as I said in the debate, Surah 61:6 is wrong. Surah 7:157 is also an error. Islam is false. They can't get around that.
Well, this is the exact thing that Jake, the Muslim metaphysician, called Libiano out on. Is Libiano basically saying, hey, all you do is just like study Christian scholarship, or you study things about Christians, or you study things about the early church. Like, he's horrible at actually defending his deen. He's horrible at actually defending his religion. He's built his platform of just like, how can I make Christians look bad because I'm dealing with people who maybe are intellectual that much. They're not really into this stuff. But if you actually get him to a point with someone where he has to defend Islam, he's terrible at it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When he came on the stream a month ago or so, he basically was talking about Allah being a spatial being sitting on a throne somewhere. It was like,
oh, there's a clip of him saying that, yeah, you can take a rocket ship up to Allah.
Oh my goodness.
It's on TikTok. I can see if we can find it.
I need to, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I'm wanting to get more into Salafi like theology, because I need to understand their actual commitments. Because once I do, you can just it's incoherent. I'm just gonna say.
Well, he threw Islam out the door in the debate when he said the disciples were preaching the crucifixion.
I know.
Really? So they weren't Muslim. They're not preaching the theology of the Quran then, and they're basically giving rise to Christianity if they're preaching Jesus was crucified. That's insane. You got a time marker yet?
Yeah. Why don't you just go to 20? I'm just going to show an instance of Libiano cherry picking right after he says that he's not cherry picking. Go to 22:14-ish. It's in his rebuttal thing.
Okay. Let me pull that up.
He executes punishment. The rest sees his servants, mistreated them, killed them. The king was enraged. He sent his army, destroyed those murderers, and burnt down their city. I have one more minute, right? Okay, I guess that's a yes. So anyways, this happens after 70 AD. Why? Because according to the consensus of traditional critical scholars, when God executes punishment in 70 AD, and then the invitation to the Gentiles happens after 70 AD. So
right.
This is the...
You can stop right there. So you saw the source. He is quoting Dale Allison, his Matthew commentary. That's volume 3 of his Matthew commentary, which is interesting because in his opening statement, he argues that Matthew makes up an Old Testament verse to fulfill prophecy and makes like this illogical connection for Nazarene and all this other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dale Ellison's commentary refutes Liviano's claims here. So I'll share this part of my screen. I just took some screenshots and I'm putting them in a thingy here. Can you see that? Can you see this?
Yep, this is him
Yeah,
basically
so-
lying about what, you know.
Yeah. So what does Allison say? Well, he says Matthew 2:23 almost certainly has to do with play on the word Nazir. I mean, and you guys can just keep reading the rest if you want to. So, Libiano, why are you accepting what Allison is saying over here and then disagreeing with what Allison is saying over here? You said you're not cherry picking.
He's very cherry picking. This is Libiano, guys. He doesn't care about facts. He cares about rhetoric. Like,
yeah, I mean, and I could dig way more into this if I want to, but I just wanted to show that the same source that Libiano is using contradicts him in other places.
Yeah.
John,
do you know where they
play?
Yeah. Do you know? Well, I'm trying to find it. There's a clip somewhere on TikTok. It's buried somewhere. It'll probably
No. Did you want to play a section of the debate that you wanted to cover?
I don't have any timestamps. No.
You can tell me. I'll find it.
Oh, actually, I have another one. If you want to wait, John. I want to cover my super chat. Actually, can you go to the 2 hour 40 minute mark?
Yep.
2:13:40.
Yep. Hang on. Here we go.
Yeah, it says external verification fails. Verifying a verse requires interpretation. Interpretation needs prior context and theology. That theology excludes Muhammad, who contradicts biblical doctrine. So it's a statement, but I think it's a worthy interaction. What do you think,
Sure.
Orthodox?
Sure. Yeah, I disagree. I think that doesn't follow. If there is a prophecy in the biblical text, as long as we could demonstrate that it's externally verifiable, and we have reasonable ground to accept this to be from God.
That is, you can't do that because any
I have an argument.
Any external verification would still contradict the biblical text. So the Bible will not be talking about that. If you're predicting a future prophet, and then that guy has superficial similarities, but he's preaching a different theology, that's not an external verification of that prophecy, because that prophecy is theologically indexed, and it would be expecting that prophet to teach theology in line with the prophecy. So you can't find external verification. This is complete nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, he says it does not follow. That's accusing it of being a non sequitur. So I'm sorry. I can't believe I have to do this but here's a syllogism for this up here, because we have to do this, I guess. External verification of a text is verification of its propositional content, since truth and falsity are properties of propositions, not just the inscriptions or sounds. Premise 2, one cannot verify the propositional content of a text unless one first knows what proposition the text asserts. Premise 3, knowing what propositions the text asserts requires interpretation. 4, interpretation is context-dependent, linguistic, historical, and theological context constraints, which interpretations are immiscible. Therefore, interpretation of earlier scripture necessarily presupposes prior theology, that is, a background understanding of the beliefs, categories, and conceptual frameworks of the originating community. When the prior theological context is applied to the Hebrew Bible and the gospel traditions, the resulting propositional content does not include Muhammad, since Muhammad does not cohere with the theological expectations, categories, or reference operative in that context. Therefore, if one attempts to externally verify the text by appealing to its propositional content, that very process rules out Muhammad as its intended referent. Oh, it's a non sequitur. Here's the inference rules, Liviano. Hypothetical and then I have 6 here as material implication equivocated. Equivalence.
So let me.
Liviano basically said apparently no argument works if you don't have an inference rule. So there's the inference rule, you moron.
Okay, so let me say this. Okay, really quick. I'm speaking hopefully to a future Liviano and Dean or anyone else who is going to try to milk the conversation with IP so much that you're going to react to this debate reaction. Don't skip the argument, Liviano. Don't skip. Don't skip
especially
what Dan just said.
Wait. John, go ahead. You can reference it if you want to.
Yeah. Don't skip the argument, Liviano. Don't skip the argument, Dean. Don't just say that's all irrelevant and then just move past it.
It's irrelevant. Move past.
Go ahead. If it's a non sequitur, if it doesn't follow from the premises, and if it doesn't apply to your worldview and your how you deal with scripture and how you deal with your theology, then please give the symmetry breaker, give the defeater, show where the argument fails. Don't just skip it. I'm talking to you, hopefully in the future, if you actually have the cojones to, try to do the debate review.
No, he's just gonna pull. He's gonna pull a Dean and go, "Oh, that doesn't matter. We can skip this."
Yep, pretty much, because they don't do philosophy.
Guys, seriously,
did a whole
you guys
reaction.
act like you're very smart. Tackle the Bayesian Islamic dilemma.
Well, you're expecting them
Go
to
ahead.
do
What were you
math.
saying?
We won't do that.
What were you saying, John?
No, you're good. I was just saying that's exactly what Dean did. Dean's like,
Alright.
here, I'm going to react to Than. And then he just completely skipped all of
Let me
Than's
skip all of his arguments.
and then he's like, well, listen, I'm not very into philosophy. But I know, listen, even I know that, inductive arguments can be non sequiturs.
Even though non sequitur is defined as an error in deductive reasoning.
Than, explain this super chat. What is this?
Than, my name is Constantinople. I still remember.
What is going on?
I don't know.
I'm blaming you for this. Just watch your debate with Hassan. Look at my lawyer, brah. I'm going to jail. LOL. Yeah, that was just like my debate with Libiano. He did not know what he was doing there. You won the debate, but do you wish you had implemented more rhetoric, theatrics, ad libs, signposting, etc., given that your opponent was Libby and he operates word mining clip? No, because I'm not going to turn into him. I'm going to expose his ignorance. Acting like him is not going to debunk him. Showing he doesn't know anything about history and showing that he can't actually show Muhammad is in the Bible is how you do that. So, not going to become the stupidity of Libiano. Dean and Orthodox Muslim claim Muhammad as Son of Man in Daniel 7. If Muhammad is, wouldn't that be idolatry? Yeah, it is. But
Yes.
they deny it has to be a divine figure by going with weird ass interpretation. I don't know. If they are just looking to make clips of your response, you should just diagram the argument to show at a glance where their reasoning goes astray. That's where we've done that.
Yeah, that's why I literally put out a deductive argument. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a moron proof version of the big argument that I'm working on. It's gonna be really easy, guys. Don't worry. I promise.
Listen. You might be able to make it moron proof. You can't make it Muslim proof. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, according to Deem, I'm the world's dumbest Christian. So, sorry, man. You guys are getting belted by a retard.
What did you want to? What timestamps did you? What did you want to review, John? Where I can go there.
So I mainly had time to go over like the beginning parts of the debate. That's what I have in my notes, and then I got really busy throughout the day, so I wasn't able to go into like deeper. So if you guys have you guys have probably already covered most of what I was going to talk about in like his opening statement. That's mainly what I focused on is like the travesty that was his opening statement.
I don't even know what he was doing with that. That was pathetic.
Well, that's the thing. If you're holding the affirmative. And there's like, okay, here's the proposition. Muhammad's in the Bible. This is what I commented. It wasn't actually read. The comment I left on the video last night was, Libiano, question, can you name me a single point, a single point in your opening statement specifically where you defended the prompt?
Mm-hmm.
That was the question I asked. It didn't get shown, but that was the question I asked. He would not have been able to answer it. He would have said no. The inference that he makes is just like, okay, hey, the nation is like this is literally where the logic is. Hey, so the stone is Islam and Islam comes from Muhammad, and the Ottomans that crushed Rome were Islamic, and then therefore, since the Ottomans were Islamic and they come from Muhammad, therefore Muhammad is in the Bible. Like that would be where the logic has to go on his part in his defense of the opening statement. So no, mainly I focused on that. There's like a ton of stuff in there. The Ahmed stuff was absolutely ridiculous. They actually, do you know where they poll like the idea that the most glorious?
They're trying to
That
get
the
it
Son
from
of Man
some
is
like
most glorious?
they're trying to get it from, it looks like from some late translator who translated the Old Testament into Arabic is what they're trying to use. It looks
Well,
like.
no. So it's actually dumber. So pull up Matthew 9. I think it's Matthew 19. So
oh my goodness, are they not? They're not. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious. Dean did this the
Matthew
night
19.
before. The night before your debate with Libiano, Dean
You've
did
got to
this.
be kidding. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
And so
I heard
he
about
goes.
this.
This is so dumb.
This is where they pull from. Jesus said to them, in the new world, when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne. That's where they're pulling what it means to be the most glorified from.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
This is
Dean-
shirk.
Nope. No. In it. So Dean, the night before the debate, when he's defending this notion, he specifically says, because his caller is like, hey, wouldn't that mean that Muhammad sits on the throne of God? And Dean, without missing a beat, says, yeah, we believe that. Muhammad sits on the throne of God.
These people are just
Do
like,
I feel like these guys look.
Here, I can see if I can find the actual
I
statement.
feel like these guys know how stupid these arguments are, and they're just begging for these debates because they know you'll get stun locked by the stupidity, and they can try to twist that stun locking from stupidity into going, you see, he doesn't know how to respond, he doesn't know. And it's like, no, dude, you're just like so stupid that I don't know how to respond to this.
well, here's the thing. Question for Muslims: how much are they going to let Libiano and Dean get away with? They're fatherites. They think it's okay for people prior to Muhammad to call God Father, that he's Father in some sense. Now they're saying that Muhammad can be the most glorious one, and he's sitting on a throne who's going to judge along with the 12 disciples. So Jesus said to them, truly I say to you, in the new world, when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne, you who follow me will sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So according to Dean, Muhammad and the 12 disciples, who according to Libiano were teaching Jesus was crucified, are going to sit on 13 thrones, and they are going to judge. How is this not shirk?
Let's see. I think it's 2 days ago. Yeah.
This is bad, man. This is bad. Let me do some super chats here. Dean and oh, we already did that one, I think. Yeah. If you did this one, I think as well.
Yep.
IP voice cracks. They're not as bad as Libiano's fallacies. Very, very true. Very true. Yeah. They're going to make fun of a medical condition. That just really shows you how desperate they are. Junior gave the blueprint to beat IP in the debate. This is true. You just concede the debate. That's how you do it. Libiano couldn't even bring himself to admit he didn't know anything about the history of the Roman Empire.
Guys, be nice to Junior though, okay? I like Junior. I'm looking forward to my debate with him.
When is that?
When are you debating, Junior?
Whenever the next debate con is, either in March or May, I think.
May, yeah. What's logical precious? Is it tasty? Is it tasty?
What's logic precious? What is this in reference to?
Precious.
Oh.
Literally the first 2 minutes he says, I don't know why you Christians are against me. And I was like, because you say things like IP trash arguments and put King Silv on a statue. Yeah, he started his opening statements like, I don't know why you Christians are so mean to me. Because maybe Libiano, if you stopped being the douchebag that you are and actually stopped the insults and said, hey, I need to mature. I'm gonna do a little bit better. I guarantee, Libiano, if you said, hey, I've been kind of rude in the past, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop insulting people. 90% of Christians would be like, fine, we won't insult you anymore. 90%. So
yeah, honestly, I will extend the olive branch right now. Dean and Libiano. I would love to do a ceasefire, and so we can actually just engage in substantive arguments with each other without rhetoric, without trash talk or anything like that. So I'm sorry for anything that I've said that was disrespectful towards you or anything like that. And I really do mean that. Let me know if you want to accept that apology, and so we can actually.
Well, I'm gonna keep insulting them until they actually stop, because they want that's the game they want to play. That's the game they're gonna play. They can act like adults and we can all stop, because I'm ready to stop any moment now. But they don't want to do that. That's why they got the countdown for this video that we put together quickly. Getting close to finishing Philosophical Foundations. What should I read next? I have Blackwell's Companion, The Existence of God by Swinburne, PSR Press, Necessary Existence, Rasmussen, all of that in that order.
Wait, I zoned out for a second. Getting closer to.
Read all that in that order. I already solved it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Excellent. Cool. What else did you want to review, Dan?
He deleted it. No, I had stuff. It was just probably
Who deleted what?
Covered.
Oh, Dean deleted his video thing.
Yeah,
nothing really. Like
he deleted it.
Yeah, it's not there. So I'm on his channel, and that conversation, that conversation that I watched is not there anymore.
For the people in the chat, look, listen. If they want to keep doing the trash talk thing, that's fine. That's totally fine. Then I'm just gonna double down on the fact that I'm the world's dumbest Christian ever. That's just Mike's employee and is gay and all this other stuff. And guess what? These guys are just getting belted by a gay retard that is employed.
Mm-hmm. How dare you be employed? That's so mean of you. That's so
you have a job. Oh!
Starts manifesting.
All right.
Sorry.
Pick one more timestamp, and then we'll close this out.
Fine. He uses at 12:55 Vermes as a proof text to say something about the Nazar thing.
Yeah, I remember that. I can't believe he's using them.
12:55.
I'm not gonna spend too much time, but just to show you the hypocrisy, guys, because I'm gonna bury him today. Anyways,
yeah, first 5 minutes of his opening statement had nothing to do with the topic.
What does scholarship say? Scholarship says, as you can see here, Geza Vermes, she says that there is no evidence that Nazarene and Natsar have to do anything with each other. Okay, so you could read that. I'm not gonna spend time reading.
Yeah.
it.
So stand in.
I'll just. Yeah, I have read. I have read Geza Vermes. I have read. I think all of their work. There probably is something I haven't read, but nonetheless, the person that he quotes, Allison, that he cherry picked earlier, he also cherry picks Allison again, because I'll just read the quote. Allison says, and I quote: "Our conclusion about the Nazar thing is not to be resisted by the doubt often entertained over the derivation of Nazarios versus, and its Latinized synonym, Nazaris. It might be remarked that the two words are not naturally derived from Nazir, but this is to confuse the issue, the etymology of the word and the other. And the question of what Christians made of the two words are two different problems with not necessarily one answer."
So if you go just slightly forward from that, I just want to point out one thing. Slightly forward from that, where he says, here's what he's going to do in terms of the prophecy. I don't have the timestamp directly. It's.
You mean to find it? He said,
No.
what?
Yeah, it's specifically where he says, the prophecies will show, and then he says all of these things that the prophecies are going to show. There's going to be a prophet after 70 AD who's going to save the Jews from the Romans, who's going to set up an empire, and then his kingdom is going to do this and that and the other. It's right. Yeah, it's right in the right in the beginning.
I'll just play it, and then we will. I was looking for it, trying to find that exact quote. I'll just play it.
Logical, out of context, garbage. I will present real prophecies, real textual fulfillment, meaningful.
Oh, wait. I
and
think it's right
without
after this. I think
any
it's perfect.
typology. And trust me, if you are a Christian and you just hear what I say and open up your heart and your mind,
Yeah.
just look at the evidence. And for Muslims, I promise you, you will get goosebumps listening to me.
Man, he could
You
be
will
he
get
could be a
goosebumps
mega
listening
church
to me, and your
pastor.
hair is on your arm.
Yeah,
He
and
could be-
all he said was he didn't even present prophecies of Muhammad. Like Daniel 2 doesn't mention a prophet. Matthew 21 and 22 doesn't mention a prophet. Okay, guess
Yep.
what? You failed. You completely failed to give anyone goosebumps or to convince Christians. I've not heard from a single Christian that was blown away by his supposed prophecies. And then when in my cross-examination, it was very clear he did not understand the Roman Empire at all or could justify that Islam ended it. And
Yeah, I
that's
think
now a
it's his
problem they gotta
next
deal
slide.
with.
I think it's his next slide right after this.
Arms will stand up. Let's get right into it.
There it is, right
I will
here.
demonstrate that there's a prophet who comes after 70 AD.
False.
He will come to save the Jews from the Roman exile.
False.
He will spread universal recognition of the true God, monotheism, and his kingdom will come after the Roman Empire and will subjugate Rome.
So pause
Now-
right there, really quick. Really, that whole section there. Just simple question to any Muslim, to Libiano, to y'all. Did he give a prophecy that demonstrated? Because he said, "This is what I'm going to do," right? He's telling us this is what is going to happen. Did he give a single prophecy where a prophet will come after 70 AD?
Nope.
Nope.
He gave nothing.
Does he give a single prophecy where it says he will demonstrate he will come and save the Jews from Roman exile? No.
Nope.
Did he give a single prophecy he will spread universal recognition of God?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. And here's what I find interesting. His kingdom will come after the Roman Empire and subjugate Rome. Well, everything that he's just said prior is in reference to Muhammad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now he's saying that this is like Muhammad's kingdom, which actually kind of defeats his point that it's God's kingdom to begin with in some sense, in which we say, and then he later on says that it's like the kingdom of Ishmael, but that's like a semantic point. But the point is, his kingdom will come after the Roman Empire and subjugate Rome. Like I said, I think you handled that in virtue of the stone, like knocking out the entire statue. It's not just knocking out the feet. You did fantastic in the debate. It's just,
Thank you.
he thinks he's young. Okay.
Mhm.
I think this is the problem. I fundamentally, like, I'm trying to think back and I'm trying to have a little bit of charity, even though he's on my hit list in terms of like debate. But I'm trying to have a little bit of charity and say, okay, what was I like at 20? I think he's 22 years old.
He's young, yeah.
Yeah. What was I like at 22 years old? How did I react? How did I have that chip on my shoulder? Like,
I was a fiend. I was a fiend when I was
like, I genuinely, I hope and pray that one day when Libiano is a little bit older, 30, 40, he looks back at some of his debates, and maybe when he has a wife, maybe when he has children, and his children watch this, he just looks back and goes, "This is not how you defend Islam." Like, that's it. Just a sense of maturity in which you say, "Hey, this is not how you defend Islam. You shouldn't do it this way," right? Not only just based off the substance, obviously the substance failed miserably, but the rhetoric that he employs, that he relies on, and that's that his audience is used to. That it's like you said earlier, people who are just employing rhetoric in conversation, the moment you say, "Oh, okay, just give me an argument for that," that's all you have to say. This is what I did with Malik. When I talked with Malik, Than was watching it a little bit. I said,
I remember that.
I said, "Here's the challenge, Malik. Give me the argument that renders Christianity false." And then the next thing he did was he asked me a question. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
Can't do it.
I said, what's the argument? They can't actually give the argument. And if you tell them, like, even in an informal sense, informally, it's still going to fail. So
yeah. Yep, you're right. Again, his whole main point, which is that Islam ended Rome, fails. They will not be able to justify that now. So Christians learn this point, because that's been their favorite argument this past year. If you just do a little bit of studying of the history, it collapses. And so now when they come into our lives and they start saying, well, Islam fulfills Daniel 2. How does it fulfill? How do you know the Roman Empire ended in 1453? How do you know? Okay, so because an outside force came in and conquered, then it ended in 1204 when the Latin Empire started and the Crusaders came in and conquered. It ended there then. If it didn't end in 1204, then didn't end in 1453 because, like the Latin Crusaders, the Ottomans claimed to be the new Rome, the new Caesars, the new Roman Empire, and they claim to continue it. So no matter what metric you use, you'll show the Roman Empire ended before or after.
Yeah, that was the point in the debate where he offered like that reductio, and I don't think we got to it, but that reductio where he's like, didn't he say something along the lines of, if I call myself Pharaoh, does that make me Pharaoh or something?
No.
Or does that make me Egypt? He said something.
Yeah, what
like
was
that?
that?
Do you remember? You remember what I'm talking about?
I don't remember it. I know that it's something like that happened. I just don't remember what it was or what he said.
Yeah, I will say. Hold on. Hang on. I think I got it here. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, it was specific. It was specific after Mike made that point that they called themselves.
This
Caesar.
was towards the end of the cross examination. So back up just a little bit here.
Okay, beautiful. So what Mike is saying, because Muhammad II, he says that he's the Caesar, right?
He did.
That means that he thinks that he is a part of the Roman Empire.
What he claimed, yeah, he claimed to inherit it.
Okay, so
notice I never said the Ottomans were the Romans. I said that's what they claimed in Muslim.
That's what they claimed.
Lying.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So if I say I'm the Pharaoh of today, that means I'm part of the Egyptian Empire.
Yeah.
No, you don't actually have the title or claim to it.
Okay.
This reductio here. So you have
So
a clear
stupid.
symmetry. You have a clear symmetry breaker in just the sense of saying, well, no, you sitting in your office chair, you occupied no land, you conquered no people, you did not assume their way of life, you did not assume their titles, you did not assume any of this. In doing that, no, that would not make you Pharaoh. But if it is the case that you do all of those things, you conquer Byzantium, you take over them, and then you are assuming everything that they had, including their titles, then that's a very different claim. So the reductio that he tries to bring here, it's just a false equivalence. It does not work. So no, Libiano, you cannot call yourself Pharaoh. But if you actually like had an army and then you went into ancient Egypt and you conquered ancient Egypt and then you called yourself Pharaoh because you're assuming what is already in place, then you could say that you have a legitimate way of saying that. But no, you sitting in your like $40 office chair in your 1-bedroom apartment, no, you cannot.
He doesn't understand the point. This is how little he knows about history. That's what's sad.
Yeah. Horrible reductio.
Milkman says, Than, can I greet you with a holy kiss?
Of course.
That's pretty gay. You can't do that to me. I'll punch you. So
Are you saying
Rome...
Paul's gay?
Bro, shut up. Anyway, Mr. Science says, so you're saying Rome wasn't destroyed in a day. This is true. That's exactly what I'm saying. Rome wasn't destroyed in a day.
We are Romans.
Yo, Than, I'm getting my first tattoo next week, and it's a custom piece of Shenron with the Majin Buu M on the foreheads and some of the other stuff. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. Join the Discord server and show me the tattoo and the concept art.
Do you remember when that trend was going around? It's like, this is my Roman Empire. Do you remember that? Than? Yeah. Like, this debate went so poorly for Libiano. It's going to be his Roman Empire.
Yeah. He's going to have to start. And I didn't even get to do the Constantine stuff because they also do that in the book Abraham Fulfilled. They try to say Constantine is the little horn in Daniel 7. And then they just say, well, he had 3 rivals and he defeated them, just like the little horn defeated 3 horns.
Yeah.
Constantine had more than 3 rivals. And by the way, if you're only going to count rivals he fought directly, he had 2. So Constantine can't be the little horn. So, yeah, pretty dumb argument. According to Dean's question, the Son of Man is Ahmed, who is coming with the clouds. Yep, that's what Muhammad did. That's just a reference to the Night of the El Zut.
But he's not riding on the clouds. He's
just coming with them. Yes.
Make the distinction. Okay.
It means Muhammad came in fog. Okay, he was walking one day and there was foggy. That was what happened. He would deny Alexander the Great being Pharaoh. Harry Potter, horrible reductio. Yep. All right, so tomorrow, Than and I will be live. We're doing our call-in stream in the afternoon. We're going to be doing, guess what, guys? What do you think we're doing tomorrow, Than?
What are we doing?
What do you think?
Muhammad in the Bible?
You bet we are. I've been wanting to do that for a month.
Can I run my meta level argument?
Yeah, on anybody you want. Yeah.
Just like, Dad, can I please?
And then after,
I gave John the rundown a little bit today.
Yeah, it's good. It's
in the evening, I'm going to go on David Wood's channel to talk about this pathetic excuse for a book, Abraham Fulfilled, and all the blunders in it. Just to give you guys a taste. Here's one of my favorites. Saying you're going to love this. Okay, so I got to show you this. This is so dumb. Okay, so
is this one of the new things?
So this is in the book, Abraham Fulfilled. So they say, for example, we can't trust Genesis 15:13-7 because of Richard Elliott Friedman says this. So they say you can't trust this part. This is what this. If one removes these redacted verses from Genesis 15, then there are no longer any references to Isaac and his descendants. Boom. Okay, that's false, but so
appealing to Friedman.
So no, hold on. It gets worse. You're not even thinking how bad it is. So they say you can't use these verses. What do you think happens when we go down 20 pages?
Don't tell me.
What do you think happens?
They're gonna appeal to those verses.
You bet they are.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at this. Look, they're appealing to it. Look, Genesis 15. And by the way, they're actually quoting Genesis 15:13-18. So this is so the citation is wrong. But they appeal to it after, and I say they just argued on page 14 when they quoted Richard Elliott Friedman that this is not a legitimate text, but they're relying on it. This is how bad this book is. It's like one author wrote the first section, other wrote the next, and then they go, there are two parts to this promise. The first part mentions that Abraham's descendants will become slaves in a foreign land. You just said we can't use this. Here you are appealing to it.
That's great. Well, at least now we know. At least now we know where how like it's consistent with the way Muslims argue.
This is how bad this book is. This is how bad it is. And I spent time tracking down their sources. I had a friend help me as well. Actually, a couple. And just so many times they get sources wrong. So many times they're quoting, oh, Augustine said this, and Augustine said like the exact opposite. I mean, there's so many dumb errors in this book. But David, what will I be going at tomorrow after our call-in stream?
Man.
Last super chats. IP, since you didn't forgive me for being late, I challenge you to debate Lesbiano on Alexander the Great being a moose. Line. Powerful. Maimonides said Muhammad is the little horn because he fought against three empires. Possibly. I'd have to think. I don't think that works, but I'm curious as to who the three empires would be. Be it Persia, Rome, who else? I don't know. All right. With that, I'm going to close this out. We'll be live tomorrow for our call-in stream. Hopefully Muslims can do what Libiano couldn't do, which is actually show Muhammad in the Bible. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Thanks for coming, everyone. We will see you next time. Oh, and you can follow Bot by Blood on TikTok, by the way, so do that.
Do it.
You made it to the end of this video, which means this message matters to you. If you want to see more content like this reaching people for Christ, you can help make it happen. Your support makes these videos possible. Click the link below and donate today. And if you want to go even deeper, consider joining our Patreon community. You'll get early access to videos, behind-the-scenes content, and a place to connect with others passionate about this mission.